like my style, go ahead and give me one mic. Everybody's got excuses, but you got one life to live, one life to give, one moment, one opportunity. Boy, that's it, and it's all said and done. When the going gets tough and the tough gets going, you just go ahead and run. Cause opinions are like assholes, everybody has one. They're being constructive or they jealous of the outcome. It's not about the times you fail, it's about the times you got up. And I don't even care what the fuck your excuses is. Fact is, you just playing the cards of foolishness. What you think I'm dubious, you gotta get up, get going and just move on. Don't look towards the past, you gotta groove on. You procrastinating now, you gotta get that motivation. I already created a track called Inspiration. Gotta get up, get going and get fucking hype.
Welcome everybody to Wrestling Talk Now. It is the Rundown Thursday night. The feeling is right. Past the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, past AEW Dynamite. I'm sorry. Where Mark Briscoe is officially allowed on AEW now after the horrible passing of his brother last week. We will get to a bunch of stuff, but before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, of course, the crazy one, as always, Kid Crazy. How goes it, good sir?
Pretty good. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. In my case, it's been an emotional week with the Raw 30. It was very well done. And of course, with last night's Dynamite, I think also was well done. And kudos for Warner for leaving Mark do the main event with Jay. I think it was very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that now they're allowing, as I mentioned, Mark Briscoe to appear on AEW TV, great. But I mean, too little, too late in that regard. It's just, it had to take, unfortunately, for Jay Briscoe's passing to see the ill will in their ways. But Tony Khan had mentioned that he did have he had to do a lot of work to get that to happen. And he did. And yeah, what an emotional main event on Dynamite yesterday. Great match as well. Mark seemed to have kept it together until he won the match. And then, he, of course, got emotional. But Jay Lethal was just pure emotions, even when he was coming into the ring. But kudos to both men for doing that out of respect to their falling brother. And yeah, just absolutely great match to put on there. And by the way, for those that don't know, Tony Khan has officially released the memorial to Jay Briscoe on YouTube and the Honor Club on the free subscription side. So you can now officially check that out. It is 3 hours long, so I did not get through everything. But it does showcase a lot of the wrestlers talking about the legacy of the Briscoes and Jay Briscoe, and also showcasing a lot of their ROH matches as well. So that explains the time frame of it being 3 hours. So you have a mixture of everything between what happened after Rampage to also some ROH stuff, and then the wrestlers talking about the legacy of Jay Briscoe. So,
other than the past matches on ROH, did they have like live matches on the tribute show?
Well, they have the matches from Rampage. So what started it off was a Pure Fight Championship between Wheeler Yuta and that name is he just debuted. Shimo, Hagana Shimo, I think his name was.
It tells me something. I'm not 100% sure, but
I certainly might be mispronouncing that name.
These are the matches from after Rampage last week or from tomorrow's Rampage?
No, this was from Rampage last week.
Okay.
Well, not Rampage. This was from after Rampage went off the air.
What they filmed.
When Tony Khan was going to do what they filmed. Exactly.
Okay. Now I get it. I'm up to date now.
Yeah, that's it. So it was the memorial video he was talking about, and he released it a week later. Yeah, so I haven't watched the entire thing, but this will kind of get me. I've personally never watched a lot of ROH just because I wasn't a fan of how it was filmed. Just I'm a diva when it comes to the production side of things, rather. And I really need to have that, WWE or AEW kind of production. So I wasn't really a fan, but I did watch the Jay Briscoe Adam Cole match that they did show for the title, and that was pretty fire. So definitely looking forward to watching that entire memorial. Looking forward is not the great word, but at least we'll be able to view their legacy in a 3-hour time frame. And so that is out now. So if you guys do want to check that out, I will put the link down below. Otherwise, it's already on YouTube. You can feel free to check that out there. So seems like another week, another lawsuit for Vince McMahon. We have 3 lawsuits going on so far. The first lawsuit was in regards to Vince McMahon being like 81% of the shareholder. People are fighting on that. Also him illegally coming back, which I guess is kind of the same thing based off of him owning 81%. But 2 other women now who are part of the board have also sued Vince McMahon for all the sexual allegations and him basically manipulating the board's money for his sexual misconducts. That's kind of the recap way to kind of put it. So clearly the board isn't happy with Vince being there, and they're certainly going to try in any way, shape, or form to stop him from doing what he's doing. Because like we mentioned a few weeks back when this all came out and Vince came back, it is weird to me how Vince could have just came back like that. Yeah, 81%, but there's got to be some kind of law against, that. Like, I feel like a lot of companies would then just be strongholded into having crazy demonical, like they were the ones that voted him out. He stepped down, but I think that's what it was going to happen anyway. So I don't know. It's a whole lot of mumbo jumbo that I don't know about, but Vince McMahon is certainly getting sued a bunch of times now. Well, just because simply like everyone else, everyone's mad that he's coming back, and now the board can officially sue him since he's part of the board again. So well, now we're going to officially come back and try and sue your ass. So it might be a while though before we get.
Even though I'm totally against Vince being back on the board, and obviously the way he did it, but it's kind of like. Listen, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to pretend that I know all the legalities of these details. But it feels like all he did was strong armed them, basically saying, if you don't want me back, I won't come back. But I just won't accept any deals, big TV rights deals or any sales. So they kind of had no choice. But at the end, they kind of had no choice, I guess, business wise. But legally, I would think that they did have a choice. They didn't have to take him back. They just couldn't take the chance of fucking up these TV deals that are coming up in 2023. So I guess that's why these lawsuits are there. There's a lot of lawyers that are going to make a lot of money to try to figure out these loopholes and stuff. And we're going to be right here to report them. So to report what's going on. So it's just a shame that he did it the way he did. But I'm not sure if it's illegal. I guess we'll have to wait and see what the judges and the prosecutors and all these people will defend it, and we'll see.
That's it. So he was voted in. So that's why I'm kind of like, well, do you really have a case? But we'll see, and we'll report it, because what do we know? We're not there, so we'll see what happens. But as long as Vince doesn't end up wanting to go crazy and egotistical on creative again, I won't mind.
Yes.
Let you do your back end business and whatever. Speaking of company deals and negotiations, AEW has just breaking news in the last hour. AEW and the digital sports platform DAZN have agreed to a multi-year international broadcast deal. And this would make DAZN the exclusive carrier for AEW content in over 40 countries. So this is more Europe and Asia, obviously, for you folks in the States and in Canada. Won't affect you. You're good. If you have DAZN, though, I mean, you can also, I guess, maybe watch it there. I don't know how that would work, but I would imagine it's for their international side. And it will have AEW Dynamite, basically all the AEW stuff. So Dynamite, even also the Darks as well, which is kind of interesting. So those will be there as well. So they're going to have all the content.
So basically, it's outside the three big markets of UK, Canada, and USA. Basically, they gave the rights to the zone, or they sold the rights actually.
Yeah, exactly. Boom. Thank you, good sir. We definitely we'll do our darndest. We'll do our darndest. We'll have a good one. That's what we do. Well, that's what we do, and we'll see you on Saturday, good sir, as we get ready for the Rumble.
Oh yeah. Me too. We'll get to that later, but we have some we have some possibilities and our opinions on what may happen at the Rumble. So we'll get to that. Stay tuned, folks.
Stay tuned, indeed. Speaking of that, Dave Meltzer had also commented on because there's a lot of rumors going on, right, with what's happening, what's going to happen for the main event at Mania. We heard a lot of stuff come out last week after our show was done about potentially it being Austin versus Roman at WrestleMania, or Austin versus Brock at WrestleMania, or Austin will be at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. We did see his workout videos, and a lot of fans were speculating, why is he getting ready? Why is he working out? What's going on? Austin then made a video, just a video clip saying, hey guys, I just felt like I was feeling like crap and out of shape, and I got my trainer back, and I'm just want to get back into shape to feel better and healthy. So we shall see. Looks like it could very well be for maybe a Royal Rumble entrant. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Wow,
there's so many
the pop
stuff now.
The pop, if that happens, my God.
Yeah. And it's in Texas on top of that. No, it's not. It's not in Texas.
Yes, it's at the Alamo Dome, no?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's in San Antonio. That would be San Antonio, yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. So yeah, that would kind of make sense.
Yep. Last week, the news we had was that WWE was throwing a whole lot of money at Stone Cold for a match at WrestleMania. Then a lot of people speculated, because it was never confirmed in the report that it was to face Roman, but a lot of the dirty sheets kind of insinuated that it would be Roman, and in that case insinuated also that the negotiations with The Rock or whatever, for whatever reason, The Rock Roman wasn't going to happen. So people did 1 + 1 or 2 + 2 = 4, and they figured that it would have been Stone Cold versus Roman. But what I heard from this week from on the French podcast from Pat Laprade is that was definitely, like you just said, it was the offer was for Brock, but that the match with Roman and The Rock is kind of having a hard time to go through, because The Rock says he doesn't want to just show up at a Mania for a match. He said he wants to train, and he's having a hard time finding the time to prepare himself for a match. So, and understandably, he's launching the XFL in a few weeks. So I'm sure he's really busy with that, because that almost falls all on his shoulders, right? Yes, it is him and his ex-wife that are at the helm of this, but basically it's his face that will be promoting it. So
Right.
I assume he would be very busy for that. So he doesn't have time to prepare. So maybe he will appear one way or another, either at Rumble or Mania. But now I'm starting to doubt more and more that we will be seeing The Rock in a match. So that leaves Roman wide open. Stone Cold and Brock, I guess, would be to fix the wrongs that they had at WrestleMania. When was it? WrestleMania 20 or 21st in 2004, which was Stone Cold's last match before last year with KO, which was kind of disappointing because they were both leaving the company after that match. So there was kind of a lackluster match between Brock and Stone Cold at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Goldberg
and
wasn't it Goldberg? Wasn't Austin the referee? It was Brock versus Goldberg. No,
I think you might be right. I think I might be confusing that. But I remember it's the last. It was WrestleMania 20 or 21, and it was the 2004 WrestleMania. Now I know that Stone Cold
I will check that out.
and Brock were their last appearance before they left. But now you're putting a doubt in my mind that it might have been as.
Because I definitely remember Brock giving the middle finger. Holy moly! Big Red says I'm right.
Says you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just about Googling. Do you not trust Big Red? I'll still Google it if you don't trust Big Red, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
We are humans,
I'm checking.
you know?
I'm checking anyways. We are humans. That's it. So it was Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero. Man, WrestleMania 20 was a pretty dope pay-per-view. Come on, just give me the matches. Results. Okay, John Cena, Rob Van Dam, blah, blah, blah. Evolution is a mystery. Chavo Guerrero. Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar. Stone Cold Steve Austin was a special guest referee.
So I guess that was it. So I guess Big Red and JLB were right.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason I had that in my mind. So maybe it's just the fact that they were both leaving the company after that made me
I think what it was is there was also the beef between them backstage, and Austin initially left because he didn't want to, I think, sell to Brock Lesnar. So I think that's maybe what you're confusing, but that was a few years before that. Yes,
that I remember him going home because he didn't want to just put over Brock without a build-up, and they had put it was like a kind of King of the Ring elimination match or something like that, and he didn't want to do it that way. But Big Red just sent me the picture of them at WrestleMania. So that makes sense.
He's on a roll,
so
baby. He's on a roll.
I guess Brock versus Stone Cold would be something that has been in the works for 20 years, but haven't really ever been able to get to. And
what are you gonna do with Brock and Austin though? Like, are you shitting me? No one really cares about them making it up in the ring. Like, no one cares. I totally forgot about this feud. It was, first of all, it was a feud backstage that they had, that they didn't like each other. So I don't see the point of bringing this back 21 years later. And Brock is gonna kill Austin. Are you kidding me? You have to have someone like a KO or a Sami Zayn or a Seth Rollins, or, you know what I mean? These kind of wrestlers who can work with a broom, you know?
Yeah, yes, I understand that part of it, but I'm saying, but I don't know. I think that's underestimating Brock a bit. Brock is a good worker. Brock can protect Stone Cold.
I don't think Stone Cold could take any kind of German suplex though. Like,
no, obviously not. It would be more of a brawl than anything, I would assume. I don't think they would be going to Suplex City in that case. I think maybe, I don't know, because if it was before last year, I would say nah. But the way Stone Cold performed last year, I think maybe if they book it right and there's the right producer behind this match, I think it could be interesting. And it's a WrestleMania kind of feel, you know. It's Brock versus Stone Cold, but it is 21 years later, so there is that aspect of it. I would definitely agree with that. That maybe the boat has sailed in for that, but
I believe it's the ship has sailed is the usual
Oh,
the
the right
usual
saying, yeah, it could
expression.
be. Makes more sense. Yeah, makes more sense.
Has a
Yes,
little bit of a ring to it.
the ship has sailed. Yes, you're right. But yeah, but I would still be. Hey, you put that breaking glass coming down, and I
No,
just don't know with all this Brock Lesnar here. We saw, like we'll be talking about later. Brock Lesnar was back on Raw and attacked Bobby
oh
Lashley,
god,
so we're assuming Brock against Bobby at the Rumble is going to be a thing, maybe. Um, but yeah, we thought that was over, but now it's in because they have to find something for Brock, and you can't just throw Brock into a storyline and build up. So it has to be something like this type of stuff, like with a Bobby or with a Stone Cold or some kind of special, like a special event feel to a Brock match. I don't know. I guess we'll
I
have
mean,
to.
why don't you just so hold on because well, who's it? Gable Stevenson, the athlete there,
Yep.
the
The
wrestler,
Olympic gold
uh,
medalist. Yeah.
Olympic gold medalist. He hasn't been doing anything, and he's been training for God knows how long. Do that. You have kind of a celebrity there versus Brock. I would much rather maybe see that than freaking Brock and Bobby again, or Brock and Austin. I just feel for Austin's safety. Nothing against Brock. I just don't know. I just don't think that's a good idea. KO did a lot of the work in the Austin match. Okay, like Austin did get better towards the end there a little bit, but I don't know, man. If you're gonna do something with Austin, make it like I don't know, like
Seth,
I don't know.
but Seth.
No,
So
no.
that,
Seth is hopefully in the title picture
yes,
with
yes.
Cody and whatever. So you can't do anything with Seth. Sammy
But that
too.
type of wrestler.
But that kind of type of like Theory. They were saying Austin Theory versus Stone Cold.
Yes. Yes.
Oh no, they were saying Austin Theory versus John Cena technically.
Oh yes. Okay.
But I don't know. But do John Cena versus Stone Cold. Make it a whole like the top star of the Attitude Era versus the top star of the Ruthless Aggression Era. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of do that. And John Cena, maybe he'll get his FU on and boom, and that's it, and whatever. And Austin could do his stunner. And they're kind of the same weight. So I would maybe trust that more so than against Brock. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I could. Yeah, yes, that's true. I think John Cena versus the Stone Cold sold as the two goats, I guess, going
Right.
up against each other. I guess that could be a good way and easy to market. And I do like your idea of Gable against Brock also. I
Goat
think that
versus
could be
boat. The greatest of
Yes.
all time versus the best
the
of all
best
time.
of all time. Yes, yes, yes. I think that can work, and definitely Gable versus Brock can definitely work.
Dude, why
Yeah,
not? They're both
wrestling
was Brock
champions.
technically a wrestler, right? Yeah, Brock's NCAA. Is it? Yeah,
NCAA
so
Division I champion. Yeah.
there you go. So that tells the story right there.
Yep. Yep.
And fuck, it's about time you use Gable Stevenson.
He has
so
been
I
training
think
for
that
a
would
while
be
now.
maybe
So.
kind of cool. Jesus, right? When was the last
Yeah.
time we saw him? We saw him like last year, like in April or WrestleMania, I think.
I think we're at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'd be down for that. But that's the beauty of WrestleMania. There is just so much going on that we really don't know. The dirty sheets are reporting so many different variables that I
Yeah.
think WWE is also leaking out a bunch of crap because it's like, well, now we're just going to overflow you with information and then you won't really know what's going on. And
Creating
that's
a
good and
buzz.
bad. It's creating a buzz. It can also create heavy disappointment too, though.
Yes.
So we shall see. But either way, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes, I think once Royal Rumble starts, we'll start getting more and more evidence. Well, not evidence, but more and more hints of what will be happening at WrestleMania. So when
Right.
it's the road to WrestleMania, right? From Rumble to WrestleMania. So the picture becomes clearer as the weeks get closer to WrestleMania. So and which is starting the road to WrestleMania starting this weekend at the Royal Rumble. So I think we're not gonna be disappointed. I don't think about the Rumble. we'll be satisfied from the Rumble. The WrestleMania is always works out at the end.
Right.
But we'll have to wait and see, because there are many, like you just said, there are many balloons that were thrown out by WWE to see how the fans would react to certain matches, and then hopefully they'll make the right decision. But I have faith in Triple H, because what he did say this week on Raw is, hey, this booking stuff is not as easy as you guys think, right? So I like that line.
Thank you for coming on in, John.
Thank you very much. So,
okay, Elvis, calm down.
So hopefully Triple H makes it easier on himself for this booking stuff, which he says is not as easy as we think. So
no, of course not. Of course not. I mean, look, we're a podcast. We're talking this, what could be, what can't be, but what the fuck do we know at the end of the day? You know what I mean? We're just giving our opinions. We're giving our opinions, exactly. What we would maybe like to see, what maybe might potentially be good. And you know, it's just it's a lot of you have to think for the the future. You have to think 3 months ahead, if anything. You know what I mean? Especially for WrestleMania. I imagine Triple H is going crazy in some dark room somewhere, trying to figure out the Rumble entrance, how we're gonna do this, how it's gonna work. Whichever the producers are gonna help him with that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh my God! I just thought Vince McMahon might be an entrant at the Rumble.
Oh, hopefully we were wrong. Like we were wrong about him showing up at Raw 30.
So disappointed. So disappointed. I was so mad. I'm like, here we go. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. No, instead I get fucking unmiked Hulk Hogan fucking messing up because his mic messed up.
His mic kept on going off. Nothing works. Nothing works when he comes. Last time it was what? He got the wrong arena at the wrong stadium at WrestleMania.
Well, that was
when he was in the ring with Stone Cold
years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there in age, man. You gotta, you gotta give him a little. Jimmy Hart was apparently telling him his lines.
Oh yeah.
While he was beside him, someone had pointed that out to me, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
He needs a handler now.
So, yeah, that's it. I mean, after all those leg drops and bumps throughout his 30-year career, man, I haven't been through bumps and I already feel like I'm worn out. So I imagine.
I imagine. Yes. Well said there. Well said. But yeah, so I think out of breaking news, I think that's about it. The Vince McMahon, the DAZN deal with AEW.
I mean, Triple H did mention in interview with ESPN that he does think Austin Theory is the top guy. He has everything. He has all the workings to become the next superstar. But ultimately, it is just kind of up to him, which we kind of figured. I also wanted to at least mention, WWE did mention they're next in line. They have 15 new people for round 3 from athletes turned to WWE superstars. That they just released the names there. You have a bunch of athletes from all over the place doing various things, from soccer players to gymnasts to whatever have you. So they did at least give you, I don't know what, this is their 3rd class. I'm like, where are all these superstars? Like, what are you doing with these people?
There's a few of them on NXT, but we don't even see much of them, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, there's maybe a handful, but not much. I guess these guys have never wrestled before, right? Yes, they are all top athletes, but they never wrestled before. So you need training. You need this. You could hurt people, so sometimes it can take more time to develop those skills than these people thought coming in. They're thinking, they're Division One athletes in NCAA, so they'll just come in, learn how to do a suplex, and they'll be ready for the ring. And that's just absolutely not the case. So
Pat McAfee did it. Logan Paul did it.
Well, Logan Paul did it, but with a lot of training. Pat McAfee probably with less training, but Pat McAfee has been a wrestling fan since he's a kid. We don't know if these athletes have been wrestling fans. So as someone who's trained in wrestling for maybe 3 months, but I watched wrestling all my life since I'm basically 5-6 years old with my grandfather, and so moves came easier to learn because I had seen them so many times on TV. But if for a guy, just because he's a Division I football player, you're 6'3", 250 pounds, but you never saw a wrestling match in your life, you won't know what you're doing. Even if they teach you, it's gonna take some repetition for you to learn those things. It's much harder than it looks like, you know. For somebody that's, like I was saying, for somebody that watches every week for the last 20 years, you know about how to do a suplex and how to take a bump. You know, the first thing they teach you in wrestling school is how to take the bump. So how to fall back with your arms back and how to take the bump on your back. That's the first thing. The first thing they teach. And the second thing they teach, which a lot of people would be surprised how many people cannot do this. It's the box, which they call in wrestling school, they call the box, which is basically a front flip that you land on your back. That's basically what it is. So to learn how to tuck your head in, so you could hit your back whichever move they give you. So whether it's they're throwing you from the top rope or
a front flip to land on your back. Okay.
Yes, exactly. They call it in wrestling school. They call it the box. So you have to learn how to do the box. So first you have to learn how to fall back on your back, taking the bump, and then you learn the box. And many people have a really hard time doing that box. They don't land on their back. So it's basically a cannonball where you're landing on your back. So you know how to tuck your head when somebody does a hip toss or throws you over the head. So that's basically what it is. And some people cannot do it, and they're perfect and they're good athletes. It's just sometimes it's not in them. So I could see how some guys, all these guys next in line, what they're calling the nil athletes, many of them probably will never make it. Probably will be, and probably are. Some people from the first class of next in line probably already were released after their whatever they sign. I think it's a 1-year contract, and then they see if you're able to hold, and then they keep you for a bit longer. But sometimes you're just not made for it, and they release you from that next in line contract. So if you usually, they say, if out of these about 15 guys that they signed, well, guys and girls, I mean, I think maybe 2, 3, 4. I don't think more than 5 you'll actually make it to TV in 2 or 3 years. So look like Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins is the perfect. I know I've said it here many times, but he's a perfect example of this. Super good athlete in college, but it took 6 years for him to develop into being good enough to be on TV. So it's hard. It ain't easy. So these athletes coming in thinking, this is a good career to go into, and it's going to be easy because I'm a top athlete in the country. It's just not that easy. So hopefully they find the next Brock or the next John Cena or whoever it may be. But it's not a given for these guys that are top athletes to become top wrestlers.
Oh, that's fair. Different skill set, different mindset. The wrestling business is a whole thing on its own. It's just, you have to have it in you. And a lot of these things, it's not like football or, hockey, or certain parts of the training might be the same, but it's different. It's different. It's like anything else. Everything has its own separate niche of skills that you need to learn, taking bumps and all that, doing it the proper way and all that for safety measures and reasons has a lot to do with it. And like you mentioned, some people just can't even do the box and all that. So we'll have to see what happens. In other news, Nikita Lyons is going to be out for an injury. She tore her ACL.
Ooh.
ACL and meniscus are torn. This comeback is personal. Thank you all who constantly show love and genuine support every week. You have no idea how much it means to me. Those of you who don't see the vision, thank you too. Stay your ass right there. This is just another lesson in life. Needed to teach love, light, and positivity always. And so she'll be out for an undisclosed amount of time. So Nikita Lyons is out for now.
What a bummer.
I like
Nikita. I like Nikita. She was on a pace.
I thought you were being punny.
Oh no! It is a bummer. No, I am really bummed out.
No, it sucks.
She was getting a push when she started on NXT, and then all of a sudden the push was slowed down. Recently, she was starting to appear in matches again, and this really is a setback for her. But hopefully, she gets back to 100%, and she'll be able to prove that what she can do in the ring.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully her recovery time is as quick as Cody Rhodes' was. Totally different type of injury, but hopefully she gets back sooner rather than later. Wouldn't be the worst thing. So, and I guess that's pretty much it. For those for those of you wondering why there wasn't a lot of legends on the Raw 30th anniversary show. Bellas were supposed to be there, but they were just told not to come anymore. And one day, a lot of people were wondering what happened with Mick Foley. Mick Foley, unfortunately, wanted to just take some time to go visit his family, so he kind of decided, hey, they don't really need me there. You know what I mean? I'd rather spend time with my family. He's doing a lot of stuff and a lot of traveling with the Treasure. The WWE Treasure show there, I think they have on A&E, so he does a lot of traveling for that. So he's still part of the company, and there's not necessarily any bad blood. But ultimately, he just wanted to be with his family. His traveling schedule is pretty crazy, and he's like, "Listen, for a 2-3 minute thing, I'd rather just go see my family. That's more important to me than they really need me there for a 2-3 minute segment." So, and which we saw on the Raw 30th anniversary. Yeah. Not a whole lot worthwhile for legends to be there. So.
But I think in a way, it was they did it right, because in the past they've done these anniversary shows, and it was basically all about the legends. And this one, they didn't do it all about the legends. They did it with a bit of that touch of nostalgia from the legends, but it was mostly based around actual matches from guys now that actually meant something for future storytelling. So I think they did it the right way. Do you know of any of when they changed it midweek for the whole acknowledgement of Roman Reigns, which was supposed to have the Sika and Rikishi and all that, and then they changed it midweek to the trial of Sami Zayn. But we didn't see none of those guys. Was there like a backstage reason for that? Or was that
yes. So a few of them were apparently not feeling like a little sick. I think Rikishi was feeling sick as well. So a few of them just couldn't make it for health reasons. Okay. Well, that's at least what we were told. But then, from the dirt sheets. But then also too, if the whole reason as to why they might have been doing that was to maybe push the Rock thing between Rock and Roman. And so since that wasn't going down, I think they kind of said, might be a mixture of both. And they were kind of like, oh, you know what? Try the Sami Zayn. That could still work too. And boy, did it work. That was a great segment of the week for sure. Because hot diggity damn, that was epic.
Yeah, very well done. Very well done. The exhibit A and exhibit not exhibit evidence for the defense and evidence for and all those exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit C. I think were well done. The video packages were well done on both sides. I think it resumed this whole storyline pretty well, and I really
gave it new life.
Yep, and I really like the way it was Jay that came to the defense of Sami. Jay Uso.
Well, it was Jimmy, no?
No, it was Jay. It was Jay.
Wasn't Jay the one that liked him from the get-go?
No, Jay was the one that hated him from the get-go.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm confusing. Okay, yes. Right. Yes.
And okay. He even says it while he's doing his defense of Sami Zayn. He said, "I'm the one who hated you the most. I didn't trust you for nothing." But
I'm the one that
does.
Got my brothers mixed up there. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that was really, really well done, and I really appreciate what Sami said. I didn't see the source where it was from a podcast. I think it was from a podcast or an interview with a magazine or something. And he says, you guys don't even know, can't even imagine how happy I am to be part of this storyline. that's been going on, this long-term storytelling that usually
Right.
doesn't happen too quite often in WWE.
Right.
And he's really happy to be a part of this storyline. So
Yep.
it's been working out for everybody. And I think I saw this written somewhere, and I think it's the best explained way to say this. I think Sami Zayn might be the most organic face turn in a long ass time. When that turn happens, I think it will be huge, huge. You hear it in the crowd when they're chanting "Sami, Sami."
Right.
I think it's affecting how over he is affecting how much of a heel Roman Reigns can be, because
Right.
they're associated with Sami, who is so over. So and the story is the story is culminating and reaching his what's that word they use when
It's true potential.
Well, no, in the movie there's a climax. It's reaching
Climax.
its climax very soon, and when it does, man, whoo, people are gonna go insane.
Oh yeah, they already love him as it is because they feel
Yep.
bad for the guy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then it's just because he's just like, hey, I'm happy to be here. You know what I mean? He has that
Yeah.
like the fact that he was like, well, I have no defense. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm like, if you can't see all the stuff I sacrificed for you and all that after everything that I've done, and I'm still here, and you don't want to believe me, then whatever. It is what it is. I have no
Yep.
defense. And then
I
Jay
think that
was
was
like, bro, I got you.
yeah.
I was like,
I think that was perfectly done. Perfectly done.
uh,
It creates sympathy for Sami, because he's like, listen, like you just said, if you don't see what I've done, then I got
I'm
nothing else
hurt.
to say.
I'm genuinely hurt. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh
Yeah.
damn.
And having Jay be the one to save him is perfect storytelling, man. I guess having
Yeah.
these guys, we've been complaining for many years about the writers in WWE, but recently, man, especially with the storyline, at least I'm able to say, especially with the storyline, they've been doing it quite right. So props to them, man. They've been doing it quite right. Hopefully the climax will be as good as the long storytelling that they've been doing.
Yeah, that's it. And that whole so speaking of which, I guess we should have, since we just talked about Raw, I don't believe we didn't talk about Raw's viewership, right?
Oh, no, we did not talk about Raw's viewership.
Oh,
No.
we were supposed to maybe wait until we actually got to Raw, I guess. So
Yeah.
tune in in the next stay on and listen to us talk about the recap, but we'll definitely tell you the viewership once we talk about Monday Night Raw, because boy, were they the ones. That's all I got to tell you. Were they the
It's
ones?
been a long time since they've been the ones. So
I
okay, so
don't
let's get
necessarily maybe agree with it, because I only thought the first
to.
hour was the best part of Raw, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, so that's fair enough. So let's get to the rundown. So SmackDown. Overall, I think SmackDown was pretty good. They had some strong tag team matches on SmackDown for I guess it's the tournament that
Yeah, the
they're
elimination
the
tag
elimination
for
for
the
the
titles.
number one contender.
Right.
They started off with the Banger Bros. I still can't get over that name. Versus the Viking Raiders, which was a very good match. These two hard hitting teams like that. That's what I love. I love to see these type of matches. With the Banger Bros, I think getting the win here is the right call. I don't think it hurts too much Viking Raiders. Because it's the Banger Bros, because it's Drew, because it's Sheamus, both former world champions.
Right.
I don't see any team right now off the top of my head that will be able to take out the Banger Bros here. So maybe we'll be seeing Banger Bros going straight to the finals here.
Yeah, very possible. Yeah, no, they're great. They're great singles competitors. I think they have great chemistry already. They're best friends and all that. So they work really well together. I still don't give a shit about the Viking Raiders. So I thought it was a no-brainer that they would win. But yeah, they're great as a tag team as well. Sheamus and Drew. So gimme. Could very well see them win it. Yeah, they're probably the most over tag team they have. So
maybe a few weeks ago, I would have told you the Brawling Brutes were maybe I guess leading this quest for being the number one contenders, but definitely this new tag team of the past few weeks of the Banger Bros, I think, has taken the helm here for that division.
Well, the common denominator with that would be Drew. So Sheamus, rather.
Sheamus,
so,
yes.
You know, that's telling something. Sheamus has been there for so long, and it looks like he's kind of maybe on like a new peak of his prime. You know what I mean? Like he's killing it. He's getting himself out there, getting himself on screen, pulling out banger matches, no pun intended. And yeah, it's a good time. I'm loving me my Sheamus and Drew. So let's keep going.
He had a very good 2022, and 2023 is starting off on a bang too. No pun intended. Also, or actually, yes,
that was so pun intended.
But yeah, so that was good. I'm excited to see some matches in these tag team divisions, because what you have, who are some top tag teams in that tournament. We have, I guess, Legado del Fantasma, I guess, is who also won. Then you have Imperium, who also are in those in this tournament, who they beat the Brawling Brutes on SmackDown,
right, which was also a great match too.
Yep, it was. I saw your ups and downs this week, and that was one of your ups for match of the week. So that was also a very good match. What did you think about the whole return of the Firefly Funhouse, which was during the LA Knight segment? Right after he beat Greg Jones, whoever the fuck that is.
Right. Didn't know who Greg Jones was either. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't mind it. I thought it kind of worked because he still doesn't know what the fuck is up, right? He's kind of getting back to his normal, but he doesn't even know what his normal is. And that's why you're kind of see him going through all these gimmick changes. The week before that, he was in his rocking chair and all that. So he's still kind of trying to find himself. It wasn't your typical Firefly Funhouse. But I don't think that's what was supposed to be anyways, because he's not the same. He's not in the right mind. He's going through all his character gimmicks that he's done. So he's not he's not an evil genius yet. You know what I mean? He's slowly getting there and trying to find his right mask, if you will. So
yes, great way to put that.
No, I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you think there was anything behind all the what the puppets were saying? Like basically, what's his name? I think it was the rabbit. Was it the rabbit or was it the pig that said that that LA Knight is kind of cool, and then Sister Abigail brushed him off, like, what are you talking about? You know, you idiot or whatever. And
that's got to be the rabbit for sure. Then who would have said that?
Yeah,
because the rabbit always gets into shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then we saw Uncle Howdy saying, finally finally you're how did he say it? I don't remember the exact quote, but finally, basically, you're finding yourself. You're remembering who you are. I mean, so
right.
I think that was cool. I think the way they did it, hello friends. I guess what you said makes a lot of sense. I guess he's going through all these phases that he's been through in WWE, right. The rocking chair, Firefly Funhouse. We might see the Fiend soon. Maybe at Royal Rumble during his pitch black match,
or SmackDown.
We don't know.
Or SmackDown. Yes, because we still have tomorrow as the go home show. So right. Yeah, I want to know how they're gonna do this match first of all. And which Bray Wyatt is going to be there, I guess, and will this be the beginning of the new Bray Wyatt, the one that they've been working towards in this last? Because this is also another case of long-term storytelling, right. Where they're very slow in the development of this story, which some people might not like. I'm okay with, because I always like long-term storytelling if it's done correctly, obviously. So I don't have a problem with that, but this will be Bray's first match since his return. So right.
So I guess we'll see, but they're doing it right so far. So I have no complaints about and like I said last week, I think LA Knight was the perfect person they picked to have this feud with, because he's good on the mic.
Yeah.
He's doing it perfectly. His side of the story.
Yeah, that's it. Even on Raw, I thought that was hilarious too. LA Knight's great for this. At first, I was a bit skeptical when they announced that, but no, LA Knight's a good time. LA Knight, I think he's eventually just going to be one of those guys where you can just give him anything and he'll make it work, man. And he does.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Yep.
He can play that scared character. He can play that over cocky character as well, the chicken shit heel, whatnot. He does everything just great.
Yep.
He's yeah.
Tough guy. He plays everything correctly. Maybe his jeans were a bit too tight, but what do you want? It can't be perfect. So
it's not a fashion show, huh? This is
but yes, moving on. Horrible match here with they had on SmackDown with Los Lotarios versus Hit Row. I know you're trying to fix what the damage you did to Hit Row in the first few weeks when they came back by giving them victories here week after week for the past 2-3 weeks. But they're still, the commentators at the same time are still making fun of Top Dollar's botch over the ropes.
Right.
So that doesn't help either. The match was really underperformed, I guess, because you have some good wrestlers here.
You do,
but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. I was very disappointed. Was that part of the? I don't remember if that was part of the elimination tournament. Was it?
That is so. The Sheamus one wasn't. It was only the Los Lotharios and
the Brutes
match. So Sheamus and Drew aren't in the Banger Bros aren't in the elimination tag.
Oh, okay. I thought for sure they were. I guess that would be okay. I guess that was me assuming that they're the best, the top guys there in that tag team division. I would think that.
Oh no,
they were
never mind. They are tag team title tournament. Okay, no, they are. Sorry.
Okay,
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even the Los Lotarios and Hit Row. So Hit Row are still in. Banger Bros are still in. Imperium is still in for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship tournament.
Right.
And Legado del Fantasma, sorry, which they beat. I didn't even know the Maxime male models were still around.
Right. Yeah, no, they're there.
That was a bit disappointing. But at least the Legado del Fantasma, which I do like, and Zelina is gold. She's on the mic, and she really does she outperforms herself every time. They could even do more with her. They could use her more because she's definitely an asset on the mic and even in the ring. So
no, that's it. Start bringing her back into the ring, man. We need some women wrestlers because and I'm pretty sure we'll probably see her at the Women's Royal Rumble too. So.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty guaranteed because I don't know if they have 30 women available. So we'll be seeing a lot of.
I mean, with Legends, and I'm sure a few.
Yes, obviously with Legends. With Legends and everything. That's why I'm saying we'll probably see like Zelina there, and probably the type of Kellys and stuff like that to fill in those missing spots that they have in the women's division. Right. And then it was the contract signing. I know we talked about already the trial of Sami Zayn, but I think this contract signing was also very well done. Them sitting in the ring, while Roman sitting in the ring, and the Bloodline being in the ring, and Kevin Owens attacking from behind. I think that was well done. It made Kevin look. It made Kevin look good there.
Yeah, it made him look like he is legit a force to be reckoned with, and that Roman can potentially lose his world title. I feel like this is the first time I actually seen Roman get power bombed into a table in a very long time. So
it's true.
It was pretty fun to see that. And obviously they're still playing off the Sammy KO scenario. He throws the contract over to Sammy and then just runs. So
which a lot of people on social media thought that he had signed Sammy's
name.
His name on the contract. So it's not gonna. I guess that would have been good too, but that's not where they are in the storytelling yet. But I think that was a cool moment. Yeah, throwing the contract to Sammy and then running away through the crowd. Perfect ending and a perfect segment for this story that they're telling for a while now. And like we said about the segment on Raw, everything works with when these guys are in the ring. I guess they're also the top. if we're not mistaken, that segment that segment with the trial of Sami Zayn, I think was the highest rated segment on Raw, right? The viewership went down after that. Well, didn't go down that much, but every hour it would go down a bit, right?
Well, that's it. And because the first hour was also commercial free.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Right. So once you have that, and then it's gonna go down when you start getting into really high numbers. By the way, folks, 2.34 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Average.
That's no.
Average
We're
rate.
there.
We technically have Rampage.
Oh,
2.34 million on average. If you get numbers that high, sure, it's not Attitude Era high there, but if you start getting numbers that high, when you do see some fall off, it is going to look bad, but it's not really that bad.
Listen.
So
I think we haven't. I think we might have seen 234 or around those numbers for a SmackDown, but we haven't seen them in a long ass time for a Raw. And
right.
And so I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 0.7 in the demo, which that's 700,000 people, 18 to 49 that watched Raw. That's almost as many people, period, that watch AEW. That's more than that's more than all viewers for NXT and Rampage. So that was pretty big numbers. And now that's something to build on. I know you can't have these nostalgia shows every week, but I guess it's something to build on because you actually did build on your actual stories that are happening right now. So depending obviously tomorrow SmackDown and then Saturday Rumble, depending on how good those are and how the stories continue in those two shows, we'll see how much they could hold on to that viewership on Raw. Which I'm pretty sure it won't be that high, but if they can get around the 2 million, then the Raw 30th did its job, which is bring back a few viewers to watch Raw. So I think that was great. I guess we should go. We could go down Raw and then we'll do Rampage and Dynamite together since we're both promotions. Yeah, that's fair. Sure. So yeah, that trial of Sami Zayn was money. Like we've said before, both defenses were great. The video packages were great. The Jay saving Sami was great. Solo about to give him the Samoan spike because it was also great.
Stops him.
Yeah. that was very good. And I like the way they transitioned right away to the Judgment Day and the Uso match. Yes, obviously not needing to go to commercial obviously helps because it really helps the flow of the show, man. That's something that WWE has a problem with. I guess more on Raw than SmackDown because it's 3 hours. It's how to separate and time their commercials. Sometimes they have a hard time with that, but I guess not having commercials for that first hour was definitely a plus here because the Usos versus Judgment Day with Gangster Dom there was pretty good match also.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, it was a fun match. I guess I didn't really necessarily care for it because I knew the Judgment Day wasn't going to win until they legit announced it was for the Raw titles.
Yes,
which I maybe should have realized. Oh yeah, that makes sense on why maybe you're also having a SmackDown tournament because you're eventually going to get rid of them. So then I was like, oh, so maybe Judgment Day is going to win. But no, that didn't happen. And Sami, well, it almost maybe happened because the Usos were going to forfeit their title because I believe it was Jay who got injured. So Jay got injured and Adam Pearce was going to say, well, if you can't compete, then it goes to Judgment Day. Sami's like, no, I got this. Let me do it. So Adam Pearce said, well, I did it for Judgment Day. I can do it for you guys. And Sami delivered. Sami delivered for the Usos. The honorary Us delivered for the Usos. So, yeah.
And he basically put the meal on the plate there, or made it easy for Jimmy. I think it was Jimmy that was left. I'm not 100% sure, but left it for the leftover Uso there to finish the match and have the finish that was planned, which was the Uso for them, which was the Uso wanting to retain, and they did retain. But I had the same thought as you when they said that it was for only the Raw tag team championships. I go, oh shit, that means there's a strong possibility Judgment Day can come out of this with the titles here. But they didn't. I guess they're keeping that payoff for another time.
Right. Yeah, and I got to tell you, man, Rhea's just got to stop getting involved into matches, though. Like, in terms of coming into the ring and, like, you know, like, I don't know if she did it in this Raw match, but I just keep seeing her getting involved into the matches and going in front of a man and going in front of maybe Dom or whatever, and then they can't do anything. And I'm just like, okay, stop teasing a match and just fucking do it. Let's do a legitimate match. Because if China can do it, Rhea, you certainly as hell can do it. And I know we're in a woke era and whatever have you, but it is what it fucking is. And they're all wrestlers at the end of the day. And I'm pretty sure Rhea can certainly take care of herself. So
yeah,
let's go.
And if she consents, then what's the problem? This is professional wrestling here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a work. There's nobody nobody wants to hurt anybody here legitimately. So I think it's time to do it. Maybe me too, it's starting to get me to piss me off, because I guess that's what they want. They want you to think or to feel like, okay, like, hit her with that super kick. Like, that's what I felt like I felt like.
And I think they're easing their way into doing it. So it kind of just, for those that are watching, are kind of like, fuck, you know, you should get hit now kind of thing. Not to say that hitting women is right or anything. It's just more of, well, you know what? This is a character. This character keeps interfering. What happens when people keep interfering? You fucking knock them out. And that's it. And that's all. They're easing into it because, you know, it is woke era and whatever have you, and everyone wants to complain about something and whatever. So that's what they're doing. They're easing their way into it. And who knows, maybe she'll wrestle at like WrestleMania or something.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I guess you would need to in today's day and age, you would need to ease into it a bit so people don't freak out. I still think some people will freak out. Some people don't even watch.
People are always complaining
that might see the clip on Twitter or something, might freak out. Oh, they're encouraging people to hit women. That's not the case at all here.
Right.
They're telling a story. It's like a show. I guess it's the fact that she's always using her status as a woman to defend, not defend, but to help her team, right? Cheat and win, I guess, because that's what she's using. She's using her status as a woman to get in front of Dominic, so he doesn't get hit and get pinned. So eventually, people are gonna ask, okay, now it's time. Okay, we've seen the build up here already. Now it's time. Hit her with a super kick or something. One of those, whichever one it is, we don't know, but hopefully soon it will bring something. Because if she's not gonna be physically involved in these stories with the Judgment Day, then put her in the women's division and give her the belt right away before you lose her momentum. Because eventually you will lose it. Nothing lasts forever here. And Rhea's one of the top stars, if not one of the top stars on the Raw roster, and I think the top star in Judgment Day.
Yeah, definitely top star in Judgment Day.
Yeah, and I even think that maybe Dominic is starting to overtake. He's definitely overtaken Priest for sure, and he might be close to overtaking. Not in talent, don't get me wrong, but I mean in being over with the crowd and with his gimmick. Maybe soon we'll be overtaking if they don't put Finn back up on the pedestal that he deserves to be. But definitely Rhea is definitely the top star in Judgment Day right now. So either get her physically involved and have her some matches involved in the storylines of Judgment Day, or have her go tear up the women's division and become women's champion, because soon, I don't want you to drop the ball with when it comes to Rhea Ripley, because that she can be a top star in that division, and you need to start going away from always having the same 4 women wrestlers as champions. I think Rhea deserves it. She's over. She has the talent. She has the look. She has everything you could ask for. She could talk on the mic. She has everything you could ask for in a women's champion. So it's one or the other. Just get on with it with Rhea, please. So that's my thing with. And then I was really disappointed with the next segment on Raw.
Cage match.
Yep.
Yep.
I understand. I understand the story they're trying to tell. I don't know if that was the right time to tell it that way. Um,
Right.
because that match, everybody wanted to. We were excited last week for this match. I think I was more excited for this match than for the main event, which was Bobby versus Austin Theory, and
Right.
bang, you have it the way you do the way you did it. I was really disappointed. No match here. It was just a beat down. They basically locked themselves inside the cage, damage control, and they gave Becky a beating. And then as Adam Pearce and the WWE officials got themselves into the cage, then they had already climbed the cage and were on top of the cage, and was kind of that finish to that segment there. So I was disappointed. Were you disappointed that the match didn't go through?
Oh, it was very pointless. Considering
Yeah.
that was also one of the matches I was looking forward to, and quite literally, there was a lot of other crap that honestly I didn't need. I didn't need the Street Profits with Seth Rollins versus Imperium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That whole DX thing, whatever. The DX with Kurt, okay, whatever, cool. And then you had Teddy Long come out. Oh, it's gonna be a tag team match, player. Like, cool. All right, fine. But no. If you're gonna take away from Becky and Bailey cage match, you're fucking retarded. You're so silly. Doesn't make any sense. This is what I was looking forward to, and it just doesn't make. Yeah, it just. I don't know why. And they're like, oh, it was because they were saying because the trial of Sami Zayn lasted too long. And I'm like, no way, man. That is not it. You had a bunch of other garbage there. You didn't need Ric Flair to come out and to introduce his daughter to the ring like that. You could have cut. You could have cut a lot of the APA crap. Maybe just him going in or whatever at the beginning, and that's it. I didn't need to see Alundra Blaze. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of crap there that I really didn't need to see, including Hogan. Like,
and if you put all those things together, yes, all these things you just mentioned, they were all short segments, but it was like 2-3 minutes here, 2-3 minutes there, 2 minutes there. That if you put together, you got a good 12, 13 minutes you could have gave to these two girls.
Women.
Yes, women, sorry.
And
these two women.
The Bianca Sonya Deville match didn't even really need to happen. What was the point of that? This told for me nothing, because you're gonna have Charlotte versus Sonya at the Rumble. I believe that is already legitimately a match at the Rumble, anyways.
Charlotte versus Sonya, yes.
Yeah. So, what was the point? Well, Bianca, this is your show, as you said, so maybe you should face Sonya. What? Why? Who cares? What is this? What's going on? Bianca's facing Bliss. Why would this be a thing? Get out of here. Like this did nothing for me. Again, this could have been also erased and removed and still put time for the Becky Bailey match. Like,
yeah, because I feel like that segment and that match with Sonya versus Bianca was all to give 2 minutes to Ric Flair. Because Charlotte and Sonya are both from SmackDown. So really, you had no obligation to have them on this show. I guess it feels like it was only so you didn't know what to do with Rick. So okay, let's have Rick introduce Charlotte.
Well,
let's have Bianca
yes
come out,
and no.
both champions.
Yes and no, though. Charlotte, did a lot for Raw as well back in the day, and yada yada yada. Of course, so I get her being there. I just don't get why you had to do anything. You could have did maybe a 2-minute segment backstage with her talking to her dad or whatever, and Natalia and one of the Hearts or something. Brett randomly shows up and they have a little fun joke, and then that's it. Bye. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you needed to do, so you can get Flair out there. Flair was talking nonsense when he was in the ring, when he was bringing Flair, his daughter, out. And yeah, I mean, the only good thing about Ric Flair being there is he apparently went to apologize to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins backstage about everything that was going on. So I thought that was kudos to him. That was great on him to do. for all the past stuff, obviously with Charlotte and Becky having a bunch of issues there as well. Ric Flair putting his 2 cents in doesn't help things, but he was the bigger man to at least go and apologize to both Seth and Becky. So kudos to Flair for that. But aside from that, we didn't need this. Especially since you have SmackDown coming up. I'm going to have more Flair on SmackDown.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. It's those 2 segments. Even though I like the DX and segment, and we'll get to it, but these 2 segments with Charlotte and that segment with the Street Profits and Seth had no basis in the stories that you were telling on Raw. So
no.
That's where the problem is. So you have a big story that you're telling, which is Becky Lynch and Bayley, and you leave that hanging. So you could have these 2 matches that have no advancement in storytelling that you need for your show. So I guess that could be a downer part of Raw. It was definitely that. But it's 3 hours, and sometimes it's hard to get everything right. But these are 2 things that they definitely got wrong on Raw. So yes, then that brings us to the DX segment, which so we see DX coming out. And I swear to God, I did not notice that Kurt was there when they came out. I did not notice. I just saw them coming out. I go, it's going to be cool. It's going to be a cool segment. So, I stopped whatever I was doing and I concentrated on the segment. Bang, the Road Dogg starts his thing. And when he goes, the Road Dogg, Jesse James. And then the crowd goes, the badass. And then he turns and it's Kurt Angle. I think that was hilarious.
At first, I had maybe because I'm like, there's an extra person there because there wasn't, but I just didn't know. Then I'm like, was it Billy Gunn? I'm like, there's no way it's Billy Gunn. But then I'm like, it doesn't look like he has hair. I'm like, but Billy Gunn kind of maybe doesn't necessarily, but he has hair. But I was like, huh, who is that? And then I don't know. They kind of hid Kurt Angle away from me though. Yeah. It was very weird. I was huh, So,
and I thought it was funny. It was cute. The Kurt saying, I always wanted to be a member of the X. Takes off his Kurt Angle t-shirt and shows his DX t-shirt. I think that was funny. I think they did it well. I think they did it well because even we talked about this off air. A lot of people were, I guess, the not the purists, but the WWE marks. Forgive me for the marks. Were kind of pissed off that DX didn't hit their finishes on Imperium. So and X-Pac had a very intelligent takeaway from this or take on this on Twitter, where he says you guys really wanted us to all hit our finishes on the guys that need to draw money in the next few weeks, which makes total sense. Gunther's trying to push Gunther as one of the top guys in the company, and now you're gonna have all these old men hitting their finishes on Gunther. It wouldn't have worked. So I like the way they did it. I like the way Triple H went face to face with Gunther and he goes, nah, man, I'm retired, man. And the best one was definitely Road Dogg. And when he got close, he goes, "Who am I kidding?" And he just turned around. and then Triple H says, "Yeah, what did he call him? He called him something. Butterbean. Yeah, he goes, get in the back, Butterbean, because he's so overweight now." So I found that funny, like that part right there until which was Kurt Angle, and they go, okay, they decide they get into the huddle, and then they look at Kurt, then they get back into the huddle, then they go, okay, hey, Kurt said he would fight you, and then Kurt says, no, I won't, and then at that point, that's when the segment should have ended there.
Exactly.
That's the point. The segment should have ended, because then whatever time it took, the next 10 minutes of who we should have somebody here that can take them on, but who can take them on? And then Seth Rollins music comes out, and then but he's only one, and then they're three. Who's gonna help them out? I thought that was very cheesy. It wasn't well done at all. The second part of the
and it wasn't what I was expecting. I was almost expecting like a Shield thing, but obviously, Dean Ambrose is not going to be there, but and I was like, who else? Who's going to join in with Seth? And I'm like, why the fuck the Street Profits? You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, this is pointless though. You're right. And I completely agree with you. The DX stuff was better than the reunion one, by the way. I did prefer this one a little bit better. But I mean, I'm whatever. They're there. I get it. I've seen too many DX reunions though at this point that I
Okay.
don't give a shit anymore, but certainly better than the last one. But yeah, just waste of time. Just
Yeah,
complete
and
waste of time.
it was there was no point to it after that. There was no point. The match had no point. Um,
None.
Even though it's not like it was a bad match, it's cool. It's the Profits. It's six guys that can go in the ring.
Okay,
It's the
go.
Profits.
Yeah.
It's Seth Rollins. It's the Imperium. It's six guys that can definitely go in the ring and put on a banger. But there was no point to it. So I guess maybe at that point with the Bailey and the Bex whole thing with the cage match, and then having this, I can see how people said, "Oh, fuck this," and change the channel. I can see how some
Yeah.
of those 2.34 million people changed the channel at that point. So that was a bit useless after that. The Street Profits and Set won, but I guess that's it's irrelevant to the storytelling, so it's not even important.
Right.
I don't know if Bianca and Sonya was after that, or was first the Undertaker segment with LA Knight
I think Bianca and
Sonya
I
first,
think the
right?
Bianca and Sonya happened either way.
Either way, so
That's-
we'll go with Bianca and Sonya, which was what we were talking about before with Charlotte and the whole thing with Ric Flair,
Right.
which also I'm liking this new Sonya for the past few months. Like I said last week, I would really like to see a faction with the MMA girls, with her and Baszler and Ronda. But this match, like, oh, you're the champion. I'm the champion on SmackDown. You're the champion on Raw. She wants to face a champion, so why don't you face Bianca? Bang, and the match wasn't even that good. So
No.
was really pointless here. Totally agree.
And
with
Alexa Bliss didn't even come out.
Yeah, she had that little segment backstage, I guess, in the makeup room,
Right.
where she says it's not. I guess it's a repeat. Well, it's not a repeat because it was a new segment, but I mean, it's a repeat of what she said already. That it's not she. Bianca shouldn't be scared of Uncle Howdy and Bray. She's the one that's evil, and that could really hurt her. But yeah, this Bianca Sonya, with Bianca coming on top. Obviously, Bianca's going to come out on top. They're not going to make her lose right before Royal Rumble. So it's pointless, completely pointless. I think that might have actually hurt both of them for future future storytelling, I guess. And once they finish the stories they're in right now. But I digress. Then we had LA Knight come out to the ring, and the Undertaker come with the American Badass gimmick. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that little change of pace.
I figured that was happening. I figured that was going to happen, though. Now that he has his Dead Man, whatever it's called, the show,
the Dead Man show.
One Dead Man show. I figured going forward, because he's doing a lot more public appearances, he'll do the American Badass thing more. You know, I was like, oh shit, when I heard the dong, and then bam, good old Kid Rock comes in. So
I like the way they put it together, though, this segment, because you didn't hear from the Undertaker, which has been talking more recently. You're absolutely right about that. He gave a long speech at his Hall of Fame induction there.
Did he ever?
Some people said, or some people actually said it was maybe a bit too long. So he's actually getting into this groove of liking to talk a lot. So I like the fact that he didn't talk other than the little whisper he gave Bray there.
Do we know what he said?
No, I've tried to look, and there's nobody really. Did he say anything? Because maybe the camera was so close that I think if he would have said anything that we could have made out by reading the lips, it would have been already out there. And so I think it was just to like put something in the heads of the people watching, because Bray did acknowledge it on Twitter, saying that was a moment. I don't know if you could let me see if I could go to it, and so I don't quote him wrong here. It's Wyatt6 his Twitter handle, right? So let me see, Wyatt6. So to see exactly what he wrote, so I won't. Okay, this moment justified a
lifetime. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. This moment justified a lifetime of sacrifices for me. A lifetime of people treating my uniqueness like if it was a disease. Through all the bad times, I never changed myself to fit anyone's narrative. I'm proud of that. Thank you, Taker. So that's the only person who really acknowledged it. That on Twitter, on social media. But I really like the fact that he had LA Knight in the chokehold, and he decided to throw the bone to Wyatt, so Wyatt could hit the sister
Right.
Abigail. I think that was nice and
Right.
done. It wasn't over. They didn't overrun it. It wasn't a segment that lasted too long. It was
No.
okay. Yes, the entrances of both Taker and but Taker wasn't that bad compared to what we usual to see from Taker. Wasn't that bad. Yes, he came around with the bike and everything, but it wasn't that bad. And Bray either. So I think it was okay. It was well done, this segment.
Yeah, no, I liked it. And man, I don't know. I feel like there was almost WrestleMania vibes there. I highly doubt we'll see Taker wrestle again. But dude, I'm down. You got to do something else with Wyatt, though. You have to. You don't put Wyatt through this. We've already seen a Wyatt versus Taker ages ago.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I don't. No. Yes, it does. I do understand why you're saying it had that vibe, because it definitely had that big moment vibe. But I think it was just more of a. It was more of a Taker. I guess passing the torch would be a good way to put it there, like as that mysterious mystic gimmick or character in WWE was kind of like a passing of the torch for Taker, passing that on to Bray, and Bray should just take it and run, and we'll be seeing a culmination to Bray, to this whole Bray story very soon. So I think that was very well done by WWE on for that segment. And then we had Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley, where Bobby Lashley's again kind of refusing the help of the Hurt Business and what's his name, MVP. Sorry. So he says he wants to do this again. He wants to do this alone. So he goes out, has a match. It was an okay match while it was going on. I was enjoying the match, and then you hear the music break, and it's the Beast incarnate, and he's back. We knew he was. we knew he was going to come back, because this is Royal Rumble, and he always usually comes back for this Royal Rumble time and Road to WrestleMania time. So we knew this was going to happen.
Back. He ends up winning it.
Yeah. Well, the last time Bobby won, right? So,
no,
I don't know. Maybe did Bobby win?
No, I mean, I more meant Brock won the Royal Rumble last year.
Yes. Oh, yes. Which was yes. Some people were not too happy about that, but yeah, that was good. Some people were talking about. It brings me to remember something I wanted to talk about. Which MVP was totally against. Well, not that he was totally against, but somebody suggested on social media of the Street Profits joining the Hurt Business, and MVP kind of threw shade at that, saying like, okay, why don't we get all the black people into a faction? So he started naming all the diverse or people of color in WWE, and saying, okay, why don't we get him to come in Hurt Business, him to come. Okay, I understand all that, and
still kind of would like the Street Profits to go into the Hurt Business,
definitely,
though, because
definitely.
I'm down for Street Profits to turn heel. Their physique now is very heel looking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're more in shape. Both of them look fantastic. It seems like the weight that Dawkins lost, Ford gained, and it evens out. It's like perfect. So,
and there's no way around this. Street Profits are a better tag team than Shelton and Cedric Alexander. So I'm not saying add the Street Profits. I'm saying find something else for Sheldon and Cedric, and have
there's nothing happening there,
and have both the Street have the Street Profits as your go-to tag team in that faction. So you have Bobby, you have a potential world. Well, you have a former world champion, and two potential tag team champions with a mouthpiece like MVP. And like you were saying, I want to see Street Profits as heels. I think they would coming out with MVP and Bobby Lashley just in a suit and having those heel promos, I think would do wonders for everybody involved. So if they're gonna do it, which now with MVP throwing shade at it, I don't know if they're gonna do it, because I don't know if even if they suggested, will he be up for it? Because he kind of threw shade at it on social media publicly. So like it would kind of, maybe he would feel a bit hypocritical if he were to let that happen, or well, not let that happen because he's not running the creative, but I mean, to be behind it 100%. So it would feel type of that. But I would like to see it, and it's not because they're African American or they're black or anything. It's just I think they fit. I think it fits well for a heel turn for Street Profits, and I think it would work wonders for everybody involved. Like I said, so it's nothing to do with race. It's just I think it would tell a good story here, but we'll have to wait and see, because it doesn't seem like there's going to be a turn like in the near future. Maybe in the middle long term, but in the near future, I don't think so. So so Brock comes back and basically costs the match to Bobby again, cost the US title to Bobby, and Theory continues as champion. So does Theory have a match for Royal Rumble? No, wait. No, because I think
not as of yet.
And I think he said he was entering the Royal Rumble, because he said, I'm entering the Royal Rumble, I'm going to win it, and I'm leaving WrestleMania as both the U.S. champion and the world champion. So I guess we still don't have Theory in a match for Royal Rumble. So yeah, Brock is back. So yeah, okay, so let's jump to AEW. So on Rampage, we had Garcia versus Andretti. I know we both like these two guys. And I think they delivered on Rampage.
They delivered.
At least,
yeah, absolutely.
That match was good. That match was good. And I'm having a hard time with Rampage recently, because it seems like they're letting it. They're just going with the flow with Rampage. They're not trying anything with Rampage, and sometimes that gets me nervous. But they do have sometimes some great matches, and this was definitely one of them. Garcia and Andretti. And Andretti, when I heard the commentator say it's only 3 years that he's been wrestling, that's good, man.
That's pretty impressive.
That's good. Imagine with 3 years. Imagine with 6-7 years experience, how good this young kid's gonna be, man. Because he's still very young. I think he's in the early 20s. So.
I think he's like 23 or something.
Yeah, I think it was something like that, 23 or 24, around that. Before 25, he's younger than 25. I'm almost 100% sure. And Garcia seems to be getting more into.
Well, he's 25.
Oh, he's 25. So on the mark that we were saying, under 25. Well, I guess he's just on the mark of 25. Garcia seems like he's getting more easy, or he's getting more comfortable with his role as having to shadow Sammy Guevara, and he's still putting out these bangers.
Daniel Garcia.
And, Daniel Garcia. Yes, because sometimes we were hinting like he was pissed or he didn't like having to be under Sammy Guevara's wing. But like we've seen on Rampage, and especially like we saw last night on Dynamite, we see that he's getting more comfortable with that role. He came out with them with the bat, with the Le Sex Gods last night. So I'm really enjoying Garcia. And this whole, I guess you'd have to find something with this whole Starks and this whole Starks and Andretti feud with the Jericho Appreciation Society. So this was all part of that story that they're telling between those two entities there. But I enjoyed it. And I was very surprised Andretti got the win here.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, didn't Sammy get the win? Because the whole thing was if Sammy
No.
lost...
Sammy didn't fight. It was Garcia versus Andretti.
Excuse me. Yeah.
That was on
Rampage.
Rampage.
If Garcia won. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Rampage.
Then that's it. If Garcia won, then it would be Garcia and Jericho versus.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
So that's what I thought they were going to go.
Me too.
And that was a bit of a surprise. And it's always good to be surprised because it's not always fun to guess what the booking that is going to happen. So that was a little swerve for people that think they know it all, like me, and Andretti.
And Andretti has another one up on JAS, so I enjoyed that.
Exactly. So that's the story they're telling. So that's why it made Jericho even more pissed off. Then we had Jungle Boy Jack Perry, which they're transitioning more to the Jack Perry part of this.
I've been doing that for slowly a few months now.
Yeah, for a few months now. I think slowly they don't want to get rid of Jungle Boy right away, but I guess that's what they're going to, because when and it makes sense, because once you're going to want to put Jack into more of a title picture and more of a big star, Jungle Boy really doesn't fit the title of a world champion. Let's just be real here. So
let's call it a spade. Yeah,
exactly. So and Ethan Page, even though doesn't win a lot, I'm really like what he's doing here with his gimmick. He's on the mic. He's good. This whole storyline with Matt Hardy, it's working. People are enjoying it. The fact that he took the twist of fate away from Matt Hardy and then decided to give it back, all that's working out, and I enjoyed. And I think Jack Perry having the pin here is more having the win. I mean, is more important than Ethan Page winning, because the story you're telling right now with Jungle Boy or Jack Perry,
you got to keep Jungle Boy that
elevating
momentum.
him.
Absolutely,
exactly. So I have no problem with Jungle Boy getting the victory here. I guess Brian Cage versus Willie Mack was more of a setup for this week's match against Danielson. But it was
I did enjoy that match.
Yep.
Yeah, I was happy that Willie Mack rather didn't just fucking job. He actually full-fledged performed like he was fighting someone on Impact, and he really showcased his stuff. And here's to hoping he gets signed. I don't know if he's still signed with Impact or not, but damn, man, he's definitely worth getting. If not,
I agree. I almost feel like I haven't seen him in a while on Impact. I don't watch a lot of Impact, but I try to keep up with what's happening through the internet and through highlights and stuff like that. I feel like I haven't seen him in a while, but I also feel like has more potential. I might be wrong here. Like this is just me, but I feel like Willie Mack has more potential than Hobbs here. Like long term.
Yes, because I think I'm done. We read a few pages of the Book of Hobbs, and I'm fucking done skis. I don't know. Just give him something else. This is not working. I think Hobbs looks phenomenal, but it's just a gimmick that's not working. You got to give him something else, because you're taking way too long. Sure, long-term storytelling, great, but get to it, because he's not worth the long-term storytelling just yet. Because we haven't seen him in enough stuff yet. So
that's the thing with Tony Khan here sometimes is he's using tactics that should be used for top stars, like how can I put this? Oh, this is a perfect example. Like this is not Powerhouse Hobbs is not Cody Rhodes that you have to build up his comeback because people are excited to see Cody Rhodes. This is fucking Powerhouse Hobbs, and he hasn't proven anything yet. Yes, he's had some good matches in some cases, but he hasn't proven anything yet, and most certainly hasn't proven that he could be a top star in AEW that deserves to be hyped up like this and have video segments every week hyping up his return. Like you're actually getting people more pissed off at him than you're getting people excited to see him. So that was my little rant on Powerhouse Hobbs. Yes, Jade Cargill also had a match. I didn't even write the.
I think it was a tag team match.
Oh, it was a tag team match. And I think now she is now at 49-0.
49-0.
49-0. So maybe the 50-0 will be for Revolution, which could be, but still a month away. So I don't know what you're gonna do with her for a month, I guess.
Right.
But the 50-0 is a big number, and I know in wrestling, when you're telling a story, these marks that the wrestlers attain are important in the story you're telling. But you're gonna have to. I think we've mentioned this already, and I can't believe they haven't done it yet. But it's time for her to go to the next level. If you really want to make her a star, it's time for her to go to the next level. I think even ditching the baddies wouldn't be bad, and having her more of a face, I guess, would be. I know we've seen some hints of her being face, but the attitude, okay, it's starting to be. It's starting to get me nervous. Her cocky attitude. Like I understand it fits the what they're trying to build of the undefeated and everything, but I guess I want to see more. I want to see more from Jade. Like, what can you do now? Now you went 50-0. It's a year. You're undefeated or whatever. You're dominating the women's division with the TBS championship. But like, okay, now it's the next level. Put her in some bigger matches with better wrestlers. I don't know if it's because she's still green, so they're really like she's not ready to get into these 20-minute matches one-on-one with the top stars, with the ones that can go. But if it's that, I understand. But also, it's a year now, so maybe it was too soon for you to put a belt on her. If a year later and she's still too green to have these 20-minute matches or 15-minute matches. So that's my.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's that she's too green. I just think you need to give her a storyline. The last time you had her in a storyline was the who was it with? It was with Nyla Rose. I feel like that was her last legitimate storyline.
Yes, and they did that one good. Yep.
You have to stop just doing these random matches for no reason, just so you can build up her thing. I know it worked in with Goldberg back in the day. But that was then, and this is now. This won't fly now. There's no fly zone for this bullshit. Okay.
Nope. I agree.
And I don't think that she's green necessarily. I think you think that because we just haven't seen her in enough meaningful stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We just see her in a random match, and it's just like, okay, well, all right. Oh, she won. Look at that. Cool. Okay, next. The only time I feel like we were interested in Jade is when she had that thing with Shaq, or she had the thing with Nyla, or she had the thing with Bow Wow.
Yeah.
I could count 3 times in the last 2.5 years where I've given a shit about what she's doing. I think she has everything going for her. She has the attitude. She's good in enough in the wrestling side of things, but you have to stop. I think maybe her physique is what's also hurting her here too, because maybe Tony's like, I don't know who the fuck to put her up against. But you got to find something, man. Or your TNT championship, TBS rather championship isn't meaning anything.
Yep.
So let's go. Give me a fucking storyline I could work with. Because, they generally suck with women's storylines, though, unfortunately, in AEW.
Yes, they do have a hard time with that. But I great job on pinpointing the 3 times that she feels like she was relevant in the role she is, because that's exactly what it was. When she came in with Shaq, with Nyla, which was a great story they were telling, with Nyla stealing the belt, it actually felt like they were getting somewhere with Jade at this point. And then bang, okay, the storyline with Nyla is over. She beats Nyla, and then bang, go back to the old Jade just squashing people.
And the Bow Wow thing didn't even finish. I guess you got the Red Sky scenario. But I mean, with Red Sky, you're still kind of Red Velvet. You're still kind of, going too slow with that, and we just stop caring. You have to build up the momentum more and more. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
And I don't think Red Velvet, I don't know. She hasn't proved, Red Velvet hasn't proven anything that she could be a force to take on Jade yet. Like we saw the first time before she became a baddie, she did have kind of a little, not rivalry. I don't guess you could call that a rivalry, but like a little moment with Jade where Jade completely destroyed her. And so she is kind of small there, Red Velvet. So
right.
she'd have to like, really like start attacking Jade and maybe make it interesting for us, but we're definitely not there yet, and hopefully we'll be there soon for something for Jade, because I think she can be a star. I think she has everything going for her, except the people behind her that are booking this stuff. So let's get something going for Jade and something big. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a big star that's not in the title picture that you haven't found time for on TV, like outside of the Tony Storms, the Britt Bakers, the Sorayas. There must be somebody there that you would like to put over that you haven't been able to or found time to, and put them against Jade and put them in a program where they'll go and they'll have 3-4 weeks to build up a match, and then even maybe have 2-3 matches with a rubber match at the end. I think that's the way to go with Jade, and I'm sure you could find, because they've hired a lot of women in the past year and a half. I can't think of all of them right now, because it's always you always see the same 6, but I'm sure there's some there. I know they've tried with what's her name, and now she's ROH Women's Champion.
Mercedes
Ember
Martinez.
No.
Ember Moon. Yeah.
Athena. Yes.
Athena.
Yes, and she seems like she's getting a mean streak now, and she's beating up people. So maybe that's what they're going for in the long term. I wouldn't mind. I know we've seen it already, and they maybe didn't book that correctly.
Well,
but
Athena also maybe kind of does it a bit better. I don't know. The thing is, we just kind of don't see her as often, because obviously she's with ROH now, so no ROH stars on AEWs. But I almost feel it more. I almost feel that her heel tactics. I can't talk. Almost feel that her heel tactics are Athena's heel tactics are better than Jade's. She looks the part better.
Yep.
And I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I think maybe Tony doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think maybe there might be a promo scenario, because she can talk. I just don't know. I don't know what it is. It just might be the whole scenario of we haven't seen Athena in a while. But when Athena turned heel, that 2 months that she did that, she quickly rushed up, and we started noticing her a lot more too.
Yep.
So I was like, fuck, that's what Jade needs.
Yep.
You know, like I remember thinking that. So I don't know. They're just not giving her anything.
The only thing that works for Jade as a heel is her arrogance and cockiness.
Right.
Because you don't see she doesn't seem mean. She doesn't seem like she's a scammer or a cheater or anything like that. We haven't seen her cheat many times in her matches. So all she has is her cockiness and arrogance to make her a heel. So and Athena, contrary to that, Athena attacks people behind the back and the backstage. She has, like we saw, I think it was last week or this week, or I'm not mistaken, but she attacked somebody backstage. She has these moments where she says some stuff that are actually heelish. So you're definitely right that she does the heel better than Jade. So maybe it's time to turn Jade the face, like I was saying, and have a program with Athena. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't work. It didn't work with Jade as the heel and Athena as the face. So switch it up.
Try it the other way. Switch it up. That's fair.
See how that works.
No, and I would maybe agree with that, or heck, even maybe bring her to ROH for a bit. You know what I mean? Keep her as an AEW contract, bring her to ROH for a bit. Maybe she'd thrive a little bit more with facing people like Mercedes Martinez. And I just feel like all the women that they do have in AEW are just not on her like height and weight level.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of maybe just diminishes the believability of the fact that, oh, these people can beat Jade. Although Jade necessarily hasn't per se proved herself to be better than certain legends, like, you know, if you're doing Akira Shida versus Jade, I would most certainly maybe say Akira Shida, just because she's been champion and she's a phenomenal talent in the ring. But if you just look at it on, you know, paper or look at it there, you'll be like, oh shit, okay, no, Jade is towering over her, should be able to defeat her with all her power and so on. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe
something missing.
Also, another option here, if you really don't want to turn Jade heel. I guess the way we've seen the reactions to Britt recently, Britt is definitely becoming the top face of the company. We saw her pop that she got this week on Dynamite when she came and kind of interfered in the Ruby Soho versus Tony Storm match, where Tony and Saraya now turn heel, which I think is a good idea. So maybe Britt letting go of that. Letting that title picture go and leave the space to Jamie Hayter to be the champion, so you don't have to like be in her shadow or she in your shadow, and go be a top face and face Jade. I think Britt has the not the recognition, the credibility to face a Jade. I think what you were saying, that the lack of height and weight, I think Britt's Britt's star aspect clears the way for that. The difference in height and weight, which I think it's a bit less with Britt, because I think she's tall also. Man, obviously not as built as Jade, but I think that can work for both of them also. That's another option for Tony there. Have Britt to be the TBS champion. I know now with all undefeated streak, I don't know what your goal is, to how long you're going to make this title reign. Title run go, but Britt is also definitely.
I think also maybe giving it to Willow though too. I think because they've also pushed Willow up pretty nicely too.
That's true.
From someone who's just kind of would randomly see her in matches and dark and whatever, and then she would randomly be on AEW, and now to the point we saw her team up with who was it? Ruby. Well, Ruby for that. Cables match there. You see that she's kind of a good person. She just does everything. But I think the fans really like her because of her work ethic. And she's just good in the ring as well. So I think now that you're in this space where, okay, you have to be building a star, although maybe Jade isn't necessarily there yet. You have to necessarily be building a star if you're going to take the title off of Jade. I think maybe Willow might be a nice thing, but I think they already fought, though, if I'm not mistaken.
That
doesn't mean anything.
Maybe they fought, but if they did, it was definitely on a Rampage, and probably nobody saw it, so it's okay to to have that. I think that's a good option. I like Willow also, and she's also more credible. She could be more credible in taking on Jade, so I think that's a good option also. So there's three. We just gave Tony three good options to make Jade a better character and a better run. So all you have to do is pick one of those three, Toe. All right. So keep in mind, I called him Toe like he was my friend.
I know, right? Toe like he was my friend. Called him Toe. You got this. Don't worry about it. Okay, Toe. Okay. We'll make you three offers you can't refuse. Willow,
exactly.
And I forgot what your third one was.
Britt, Willow, and Athena was the other one.
Oh yes, Athena. Yeah, there you go.
So that was Rampage. Moving on to Dynamite here. We started off with Le Sex Gods versus Starks and Andretti, and they came out with some I didn't know what that was, with the red coats and the really overly baggy black pants. I was like, what are they doing? What is this?
Yeah, and they're always fucking boy bands. It's so weird.
And then they take off the pants and they reveal the red pants, like turning around, and then the pants land on Jericho's head. That was hilarious. Even Sammy found that one funny. But yeah, you try not to laugh because you're heels. You're not supposed to laugh, but sometimes these things happen, and you can't.
Like, what are the odds?
But it was a good
like Jericho. You're supposed to throw it forward, not up.
Yeah,
in the air.
Yeah, not up in the air. It's gonna land on your head there. But I enjoyed the match, back and forth. There was some good spots. Like we said before, Andretti's very impressive.
Right.
I even think he's overshadowing a bit Starks in this whole story that they're telling with the Jericho Appreciation Society. And I think Starks is losing a bit of his spark that he or momentum that he had. Spark.
His spark.
But his momentum that he had from his previous matches, and more of the passing on the momentum more to Andretti. even sometimes even his last week's promo, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but he had some heelish, well, not some heelish, but some phrases that the crowd was like, oh, they didn't like too much. It was kind of too much of too the insult was too much. Like it wasn't like a funny or witty remark. It was more of like an insult, and you saw the reaction of the crowd. So I don't know if that affected a bit his overness with the fans. But I have a feeling like he's losing a bit of this his momentum that he had. Like he was on. It felt like he was on a rocket ship to a few months ago.
Because I think the problem there is because he started his little rocket ship there when he went to go face MJF, right? They had that little thing, and even before, people were still kind of on him, but then that whole promo happened, and then we regarded Starks as like a top guy again, and then he went to go face everybody from MJF, so
that's true.
Yeah, so
once you move away, you lose against MJF. And then what do? You just lost the belt. So what do you do with him? Okay, you put him in a feud with Jericho, which could have worked. I guess, and that's what he's in now. I guess the feud with Jericho, but it's more of a him and Andretti.
More of an Andretti storyline.
Yeah, that's more of it. But they gave back the finish to because I think they mentioned this on commentating. It's the first time since he's in AEW that Chris Jericho had 2 losses in a row, back to back.
Right.
So So when they said that right away, I'm like, okay, so the Les Sex Gods are winning this match, and so they gave one back to JAS here by giving the finish and to those guys by beating. I think who was it? Was it Starks that got pinned, or was it Andretti? I don't remember.
I think it was Andretti actually, but it's really due because of cheating, right? Because Garcia used the bat.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly.
I'm trying to check here too, but yeah.
But that fits the JS, the whole heel thing. We're winning, but you get the win for JAS, and the story continues. I guess we'll maybe culminating in. What would you do if you're Tony Khan for a Revolution match?
This match is fire, bro. I'm just looking at this again, and it's just it was a fantastic match.
Yeah,
Andretti's a fucking star.
Yep.
Kudos on Jericho for taking him under his wing, though. Straight up.
He brings so much energy to the match. Like he's nonstop.
He really does.
He'll run, jump on one side, comes back, jumps on the other side. Really makes it.
He reminds me of Dante. He reminds me of Dante.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. There is a kind of a top flight feel there. Yep. With Dante and his brother Darius. Yes, definitely. But like I was saying, if you were Tony Khan, what's your pay-per-view match, your payoff here for this story? Is it Starks versus Jericho or Andretti, the rematch of Andretti versus Jericho?
I think you do Andretti versus Jericho.
Unfortunately, I agree with you. Not unfortunately that I agree with you, but I mean,
this is not Starks' story, though. So Starks just came in because, hey, he's the new guy. I've been here since the beginning. AJ, you got to stop taking advantage of people. And that's kind of that there. But, like, I don't know. This is not helping Starks in any way. It's just at least giving Andretti that, because now that he's at least in a tag, it makes it maybe just a bit more believable that they could win, kind of thing for now. You know what I mean? He beat Jericho, not a fluke. He's skilled, but still kind of a mini little fluke. He's gonna get taken advantage of because you can't have like this. You make him get wins in a tag, so you can see his true skill, and then ultimately have him as a singles. Oh, Jesus, sorry.
Bless you.
It was Andretti that Sammy
that suffered the pin. Okay, so yeah, that so you were right. So I guess you just explained pretty much, which I agree with, that Andretti will be this payoff will be Andretti versus Jericho. I just feel for Starks like you're just a spare tire here, or
But what is Starks gonna do?
Well, that's the problem. That's also another problem. Like, Like I feel like man, yes, the payoff was good, and the promos and the build up for Starks MJF were good, but I feel like you put yourself in a corner by doing that, because now you have nothing for Starks, because that's where it is. There was no build up, there was no journey, Starks' journey to a title match. It was only basically insulting MJF. Yes, he had those. He did win the battle royal, and he did earn his title shot, but I feel like it didn't have the journey and that usually you have to, that you're able to stay on top even if you lose against the champion, but at least you're still feeling on top. And I think bang, he has dropped back to the mid card, and I feel for him because he's better than that. But you're right, like what do we put him in now? Like who can be a good program for him?
I think you maybe should have done something with the Stokely crew, because that's kind of MJF related, or you stick kind of like the main roster area, make him face Brian, make him face, well, not with the whole MJF thing going on because Brian can't lose, or still make him face Brian. And it's not because it's not necessarily because make him face Brian, but say, hey Brian, if I beat you though, I'm taking your spot against MJF at Revolution.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Or MJF makes that a thing, or he kind of squirms into something, and then Starks tricks him into like, no, why don't you do this? If you say I'm nothing, I'm blah, 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 why don't you make that a thing? And then Daniel Bryan, being the guy that he is, says, okay, you know what? Doesn't really matter to me. Bryan will beat him. But then this will also shed Starks on a whole new another light, where he can actually hang with
these top stars,
the big boys and these top stars, and heck, even do like a little Iron Man match, do like a 30-minute Iron Man match or something. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure Starks could do it no problem.
Yep.
And
I agree.
MJF could easily weasel into a thing like that. Like, you're going with me for 60. Well, Starks isn't even half the man I am, so you got him at 30 or 25. You know, it kind of be a little thing. I think that would be great.
I think that would have been a good way to do it. Yeah.
You know, I think that still puts Starks in that main event category. And or something with Hangman, but I think Hangman's doing something with Moxley again. Like, what the fuck?
Well,
just end this already. Like, Jesus Christ.
But there is
it's good. I don't mind. Yeah, there's the one.
You want the rubber match here, but I felt like it was a good finish to that storyline. This last with Paige beating Mox, but now we see that they're gonna get the next week. They'll have that rubber match. So yeah, I think, but
I thought this was to write Mox off, though. That's the only thing. Like, I thought this was to write Mox off for like a while. Yeah, he's been out for 2 weeks, I think. So cool, but I don't know. Weren't you promised like a month's vacation?
A vacation or something like that? Yeah. And I completely agree with you. I think that would have been a good option for Starks. Have him be one of the levels that Danielson has to overcome to get that match, that Iron match versus MJF. I think your idea of a 30-minute, I think the last level, like the last boss before getting to MJF, it would have been an Iron Man match, 30-minute Iron Man match with Starks, between Starks and Bryan Danielson. That would have been a banger. Right. I think that would have maybe not solidified, but definitely that would have put Starks in that conversation. You have a banger with Bryan Danielson.
I think I'm going to tweet Tony.
and I think that would have worked. And I think after there's options.
You laugh. I'm being serious.
I know you are. That's why I am laughing. Because yes, and then once you have a banger with that, a 30-minute Iron Man match with and that's a banger with Bryan Danielson, there's no problem in you having a match with Mox going into a Mox turning heel or something like that, because we've seen these hints also, and then having a program with Mox and Starks can have some bangers also, and that you're starting to solidify Starks as a top star. Now right. You're not so much doing that, but Whatever. These are only suggestions, though. So it's again me calling our friend Tony Khan. Then moving on, we had the Darby versus Buddy, Darby Allen versus Buddy Matthews.
Yeah,
Matt.
this unfortunately I didn't watch the full match. I felt like this would have been a
Oh.
banger. Banger?
Yes, it was kind of a bit short. Um,
Okay.
but Buddy did some stuff that you're like, ooh, I think he got hurt. I think Darby got hurt there, but very
Oh, yeah,
physical,
but
very
Darby
physical. And
Darby
Buddy
doesn't
came
get
out with
hurt. He's made a bubble wrap.
yeah, but I think he got hurt there with his because they did play this little injury he had on his I don't know if it was his thigh, or it was his left leg, his upper leg, and
Okay.
they played it like he got hurt in this weekend's match with Sting and Muda versus or last weekend's match versus
Oh.
the goodbye match of Muda. Apparently got hurt there, so they were playing with that a bit. But Buddy, man, did Buddy put put Darby through some big heavy physical moves that and I was
Oh,
thinking,
Jesus. I'm currently
yeah,
watching it. That
you
was
are, you are.
That was 2 apron hits, and now he's gonna
Yeah.
swing him into the, and he keeps swinging. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and was
That's it.
yeah, it was a good and, Buddy. I always did like Buddy, even in WWE as Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
I think he has potential. Like he can go in the ring. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And his physicality. This match with Darby proved to me that maybe he's not out of place in the House of Black. He fits right in with these guys. And when it comes to physicality with Brody and with Malachi Black, hard hitting.
No, because he got built, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because he got built. He didn't look like this in WWE.
Yeah, he was actually on 205, right? So he was supposed to be one of their cruiserweights, and now he looks much bigger now.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this part. Darby obviously getting the win, so he keeps his title. Nothing different, nothing surprising there. I guess I could see Buddy as, it's not that I don't see Buddy as a TNT champion or type of thing. I think he would be a good TNT champion. I think him as TNT champion and House of Black as tag team champion would solidify them as a faction, as a top faction in AEW. I guess we're not there yet, but there's a good win for Darby. Very, very good match. And then it was the emotional part of the night for me. Right after this match was the Jay Briscoe video package or tribute. It was like a 2.5 minutes of showing basically from the start of the Briscoe's career to the end, to their last match with FTR. And they did it perfectly. I don't know who put this together, who was the director of this little video package, but they got me it got me choked up. I won't lie. It got me choked up, and not to say that I was I've known the Briscoes for a long time, but I was never a huge fan of theirs until these matches with the Young Bucks. More FTR, but even the Young Bucks, like in 2018. Like 4 years ago, they had some top bangers that I saw back then. But really, these 3 matches with FTR really put them not on the map, but really put them on top in my view of tag team wrestling. And this video really hit me deep down there. And I can't say it didn't affect me. And I was emotional during this video, and it was very good. I did, and it reminded me something that I had read, which was crazy. Also, was that when they started off, they would have to lie about. In some places, they didn't even let Mark wrestle, because Mark at the time was still 17 years old, and Jay was 18, and in some places wouldn't let Mark wrestle because he was under 18. And you see that in that video, you see images of them and how young they look when they're actually wearing wrestling tights, like when Jay was wearing wrestling tights and they had the shaved heads. So it was very, very well done. So whoever did that, congratulations to you. That was a very, very well done video. So yeah, I really liked the way they did that video and that little tribute. And then we had Jungle Hook versus Ethan Page and Matt Hardy, which I don't think you are. You taking this Jungle Hook tag team seriously?
I don't think I like Hook anymore. I don't think I really ever did. I just don't care. He's, I don't know. Like, if there maybe wasn't an Orange Cassidy already in AEW playing this whatever, wherever, I don't care. I'm just a ruthless
Easy
guy
going.
kind of thing. Easy going. Maybe this might work, but the fact that we already have that in Orange Cassidy, I know Hook is a little bit more lethal, I guess. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Can we please also just stop putting Jack Perry in fucking tag teams? Can he just do some stuff on his own, though? Like, what the hell?
Yep.
Let him do stuff with Ricky Starks.
Yeah. That would be,
what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be some fuego.
Yep. That would be a way to do it. Why not? If you really want to uplift them both as big stars, so why don't you have a program where they have 3 great matches and it elevates both of them? So I don't have a problem with that, and I do have a problem with them always keep on putting Jack Perry into tag teams. It's like it's their go-to. It's an easy thing to do for them. Every time he finishes a singles run or a singles program with somebody, bang, you have nothing for him, so you throw him in a tag team. And yeah, I understand your lack of excitement for Hook. I could definitely feel it, and I also feel it in the crowd also. Like the he isn't as over as he was at the beginning.
Right.
Definitely, he still gets a good pops, but it's definitely not as much as you. At one point, we can't forget this guy was the most sold T-shirts in front of CM Punk when at the beginning of that
crazy
when he started. So he was over. You definitely feel he's not as over now, and that it's time to get to the next level. Just like Jade, it's time for her to get to the next level. It's time for Hook. It's time for Hook to get to the next level. This coming to the ring and not giving. I want to hear from you. Like, what kind of person are you? Other than that guy that doesn't give a shit. And like, I want to get to know you. If I'm gonna like you, I have to get to know you. So, other than excited about how you are, bro, I love the T-bone suplexes. I love the way he wrestles. I love the way he looks like he's a badass and not afraid of anything. I like all these things, but now it's time to get to the next level. You know, it's like in a relationship. You get the first date. You get to know each other. I get to see what kind of person
we
you
didn't
are.
get a first date. This is just like we get to the one night stand, the bang bang boom, one night stand all the time.
Exactly.
Now,
the sex was good. Exactly. The sex was good, but now we need to get to, like, are we gonna stay together and are you a good person? What kind of person are you? Do you deserve my love? That's what it is. And that's where I'm at with Hook there. I like you and all. I think you're cool and shit. But what kind of person are you? And are we gonna take this to the next level? That's what I want to know.
We need a story. We need a story from you, Hook. And you got to hook us in with your story, good sir, because right now you're becoming stale.
Yep.
Sex is stale. Like, there's got to be more to
you. From Hook, now you're starting to sink. So before you get to sinking,
look at you go.
That's a shitty joke, but whatever. Then we had the Brian versus Brian, the battle of the two Brians. There, Brian with a Y and Brian with an I. That was actually a good match, but I guess not what you would expect from Bryan Danielson match. But he's also working with a huge guy. But to Cage's defense, Cage can go and is not he doesn't have to be a grounded wrestler. He can do some spots also. He's not just a brawler. He can do he can get the hits. He can take the bumps, and so I'm a little bit disappointed. But it wasn't. It wasn't a shitty match.
No,
I just thought
it's just the problem too is we've also seen like 2 banger Brian matches. You know what I mean, with Bandito, and then the one before that was with Take a Shitta.
Yeah, Take a Shitta, Kanuske.
Yeah, but then that was fire afterwards. At the end, obviously Brian wins, and then MJF comes and just gets a chair and orders Brian Cage to break his arm.
Yep.
And then Takashita ends up coming out and helping out Brian. So we're probably going to get a tag match or something. Probably next week or something between these four guys.
Well, next week we have the next level of the next level of the challenge, right? It's Timothy Thatcher.
Oh yes! Oh my God! Yes, dude. I was dreaming about this when I first saw Timothy Thatcher on NXT. I'm like, oh man, I would love to see Thatcher against Brian. And
you want to?
Here I am. I am seeing it. Like, dude, this is the. And just to make matters even more like logistically awesome, make it into like a pure ROH pure fighting match. You know what I mean? Then you're just fucking cold.
I think you have a possibility here of putting on a technical masterpiece here.
Yeah.
Between Brian and Timothy. I think when you look up in the future after this match, it should be that when you look up the definition of technical wrestling, you see a picture of these two, because Timothy is very underrated. I know he's been wrestling. We haven't seen him because he's been wrestling in Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan recently,
right
after being released from WWE. But yeah, man, I'm pumped because I feel like this is going to be a 15-minute match of pure brilliance. Back and forth of a grounded. You won't see spots in this one. No, or high flying spots or things like that. You'll see some breaking of fingers.
You'll see some ground grappling, breaking fingers,
submissions. Yeah,
galore. Yeah. You're gonna see what. Who's that other guy that was really good in WWE that I wish they would have done more with? I think he was like Daniel Bryan's like protege. And then that kind of broke up. Shit. Yeah. Nope. Not ringing a bell. He had a thing with Daniel Bryan. He was like his protege. I think it was more on SmackDown, I want to say.
This is after Daniel Bryan came back?
Drew Gulak.
Oh, yes. Drew Gulak. Yes. And Drew Gulak and Timothy Thatcher had a pretty good program on NXT also. So they put on some nice... well, one for sure. I remember them because if I'm not mistaken, I think Timothy Thatcher was part of what they're trying to do now with Drew Gulak, having the invitationals with basically the Gulak School of Wrestling. Basically,
right?
They had a bit of that in NXT, and I think at the beginning Timothy Thatcher was one of the students, and then ended up being having a program with Drew Gulak. So I think this can be that times 10, because now you're probably facing the GOAT of technical wrestling, or
right.
Okay, one of the best. Let's say, not to be too controversial here, because Bret Hart was pretty good too. But so probably one of the best technical wrestlers of all time against a guy that we have seen is a very good technical wrestler. So I'm very excited about this match. Give them 15 minutes. Don't give them anything less than that. I think 15 minutes on a 2-hour show, Dynamite, I think it's good enough for. And plus, it's your storyline for the AEW World Championship, so it deserves that time that you give to Brian.
Might even be more. I mean, we don't have a stipulation on it though, so who knows? That could be our Iron Man, 30-minute or 25-minute or whatever. So, and everyone would be down to see that. So, we'll just have to see.
Yep. We'll wait for them to announce what it is. Maybe we'll get an announcement tomorrow on Rampage about if there's any stipulation to that match. Then we had Toni Storm versus Ruby. Okay match. I guess you're continuing the storyline with Toni.
Well, I mean, Britt was supposed to be there, right?
So, yes, it was supposed to be a trios match. Yes, exactly.
Triple threat.
They announced that she had got her. Yes. They announced that triple threat match. Then they announced that Britt had gotten hurt the night before on Dark. That's why it became a one-on-one. And then what do we get? We get Britt's music popping on, Toni being distracted by the music, and Ruby getting the win via distraction. And then kind of being questioning why Britt came and help her out. Just kind of seemed confused there about what Britt was doing. But I guess this is just to advance the story of Saraya and Tony with Britt and Jamie Hayter. Then they announced there was a little segment in between. I think it was right before this match where Jamie Hayter had a little backstage promo, where she's gonna fight Emiri. That Sakura, I think her name is,
right.
Emi or Emira Sakura.
Emi Sakura,
Sakura, that's it. So yes, she's kind of a legend. I think they faced off already in Stardom in Japan back in the day,
right.
when Jamie was there, and she says she's no longer that person. So that should be a good match, even though Sakura is a bit older. She can still go. I've seen some good matches of her since she's had a few matches in AEW. But I want to see more from Jamie.
Matches in AEW, right? So yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. But I feel like Jamie deserves more. She's the champion
whole
here.
Brit thing. To answer your whole Brit thing, I think this makes Brit face though.
Yep.
So
definitely.
you literally had Saraya turn heel, and then Brit heel the last week too, and then turn face.
Yep.
It's just kind of weird how they're doing it. Like this
it
whole
is.
heel
It's
face
kind of
thing, like
it feels like it's they're improvising here a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the reaction Saraya was getting, and she wasn't getting over with the crowd. I understand you want to turn her heel, make it easier for her, because it is easier to be a heel. So I understand that. I understand the whole storyline with the homegrown. You're pushing a war with the homegrown AEW talent. That makes sense also. But you are a bit confusing because 2 weeks ago, you didn't have the double turn. Usually when you do these things, when you want to turn somebody that's heel into face and somebody that's face into heel, you usually have like the perfect example of that is the Stone Cold versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, right? That was the double turn where Stone Cold became became face and Bret became kind of heel. Where you have that, that's usually the way you do a double turn. You do it during a match or something like that, where both okay. Now
if it was planned, they essentially should have just done this during their match.
Yep. Yes. Exactly.
First match kind of thing. I mean, yes, it's her first match. She had jitters, but at the same time, maybe that would have also motivated her to be a bit more aggressive while worrying or whatever have you, not necessarily giving a shit about the fans because you're going to be heel anyway, so you're going to want them to boo you. But that's if it was planned that far in advance. I do think it's a lot of impromptu stuff though. So
yep, because or another way to do it would have been like when Saraya was giving props to Britt for that match, right? She was like, Britt helped me out during that match a lot. I have a feeling that was the moment there where you create sympathy. You create sympathy for Britt because she actually helped out Saraya in her return, and then you have Saraya turn on her right away. Like, thank you for what you did. Thank you for what you did. You really helped me out for that first match. And then when she turns around, bang, you hit her, and that would have been bang. Both just you have the double turn right there. It feels like
would Jamie Hayter been champion though?
Yeah, because she did help. Yes, because Britt did help Jamie win that title. Yes, you're totally right. But I'm sure there was still would have been still a way. They would have found a way to make it to do it. I'm pretty sure because now it feels like 1 week they were heel, Britt and
exactly.
Well, Britt and Jamie, and then the next week they show up and they're no longer heel. Yes, we did see the heel turn of Saraya and Tony. That one, that turn we saw, but we never saw the turn of Britt. And that's what we felt last night when Britt came out, like I said before, to a huge pop. Like we haven't seen the pop for Britt like that in a while. And it was kind of she came to help the baby face, which clearly Ruby's a baby face. There's no arguing there. So you came and helped the baby face. You cost the heel the match. Bang. So what happened to you being a bitch 2 weeks ago? I don't understand.
Right.
But
yeah.
So that's
I mean,
that's
it's interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see with. Have we never seen Britt as a babyface? I don't think, or
no,
has been a while. So
yes, if she's been a babyface, it's more of like what you call walking the line kind of babyface. That anti-hero kind of she's over, but she's not really acting like a babyface. So I guess now we'll finally see Britt as a babyface, and can she be the top star? I have no doubt she can. I have no doubt in my mind she can. But now it's time to take that ball and run with it. So But that's one of the little problems I have with Tony's booking is the women's division, and the face and heel turns sometimes get lost with them. It's a problem that he has. And then you had the main event, which was like you mentioned before, that was emotional for both men, especially for Jay. I think maybe, and it's not a question. Some people will say, "Oh, he's not even he's not even showing emotions for his brother." Hey guys, first of all, that's a stupid thing to say. Number one, and number two, not everybody deals with grief the same way, right? And some people, not because they don't cry or they don't show emotions in front of you, doesn't mean they don't have those emotions inside. So
exactly,
I just felt that.
And the Briscoes were really tough guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of the wrestlers were saying like, "Hey, just if Jay was here, he'd tell me to suck it up and go out there. You know what I mean? And let's go. Let man up. Let's go. We'll just keep moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and that's just how some people deal with various things in life. That doesn't mean that they're not healing properly. It means that they're healing in their own way. People, it's the beauty about being a human being. Many people deal with certain other things as long as they're in a right path to get where they need to go in terms of that healing, then that's all that really matters. So and he did get emotional towards the end. You know what I mean?
Did.
Maybe he was just off. It was also on his birthday. On top of that, so a lot of emotions were definitely going through, and maybe he just felt like he wanted to also just put the best match that he possibly could, out of respect. And, both men obviously did so.
And but they definitely went. They definitely took that match and they made something special of it. Not only in the ring, not only with the match was it good, it was emotional. There was no holding back. I like when they went to the corner and Mark said before they started chopping each other, and Mark said, "Let's do this." And Jay looked back at him and goes, "Let's go." And they started chopping each other, really hard chops. Hey, Mark has some hard chops. He's one of the best. Chest
sounded
choppers.
like it.
Yeah. Those are like Tomps. Those are, yes, heavy. They were saying, the commentators were saying those are heavy hands, and they're definitely some heavy hands. Enjoyed the match, back and forth, some good spots. I love the Briscoe finisher. I forgot what they call it. But like it's like a inverted
the J drive or something.
The J driver or the J drill or something like that. Yeah,
J drill.
It looks really good. It looks really good. Like, and I seen him do it on KO, which KO is not a light guy. It's pretty heavy dude.
Right.
And I seen him do it on Kevin Owens. So I really like that finish. And you saw that finish coming.
J driller.
The J driller. That's it. The J driller. And I really enjoyed it. The way they build up to that finish. With the reversals and with Jay Lethal missing his what they call it, the J cutter.
Right.
So very, very good match, done perfectly. I really enjoyed the roster also coming out after the match. Saw some emotions there from the roster there. Christopher Daniels and all those guys that were with ROH at one time or another.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was done. Everything was done perfectly in this case. And that little tribute plus the video really makes me want to watch the tribute show to Jay. So I think it's a perfect.
It's perfect and honestly, if you haven't really watched a lot of ROH stuff either, you might also be pleasantly surprised, because I'm sure they picked also banger matches for that as well. So I wouldn't even doubt if maybe Tony put the Jay Lethal and Mark match as like the last match kind of thing. Maybe that's why he only released it like today. Maybe just to kind of add that as a complete, memorial. Your brother faced, I don't know.
A nice ending to the figure. That would be yeah,
You know,
a nice ending to the tribute. Yeah, definitely. And I didn't know that. While what I said last week about Jay being had a run as world champion, uh,
yeah,
I
too.
didn't know. I didn't know while Jay was battling Adam Cole at that time was the rivalry that was going on during his time as world champion. Uh,
Right.
Mark had his own singles run at that time, chasing the TV championship, which was owned by or held by Jay Lethal. So like
Oh,
everything is
okay.
in everything. So that's I didn't know that. I knew Jay was world champion, but I didn't know that during that time Mark had his own little singles run also chasing the TV title, which
Okay.
he never ended up winning because I think
Right.
Jay Lethal is
Well,
the
Jay
long
Lethal had it forever. Fuck yeah.
exactly he's the longest lasting TV champion in ROH history. So he never ended up getting, but at least he had those matches. So these guys know each other, have been in the ring with each other a lot, and you felt that it was a free flowing kind of match, with some hard times maybe emotionally wise, especially for Jay Lethal. You saw it in his face. He
Oh
sometimes was
my
having a
god,
hard he was having a hard time,
dude.
um, but it's only normal, man. He was really close. Apparently they were like best friends.
Mhm.
So.
That's
Um,
it.
so
That's it.
it's only normal. It's going to affect. I can only imagine um, if I was in the wrestling business and my best friend passes away, and 8 days later I'm facing his brother in a singles match, which is also my friend. Yeah, how I would feel, my
Right.
emotions would be running wild. So
I
I feel for him, and kudos for him for putting that match, going through that match, because it was a good match. All at the end of the day, it was a good match, and I think it was the perfect culmination for
oh,
this tribute to Jay here.
yeah, no, Jay Lethal can go. Again, I've only seen the Briscoes when they faced FTR and maybe a match or two back in the day, but yeah, fun. It was emotional, but it was also a very good match as well. And it was just a great way to end Dynamite. And yeah, just kudos to Tony for apparently he had to fight a lot to get the Briscoes
Yeah,
on as well. So going forward, it looks like Mark Briscoe will be allowed, and the Briscoes name will be allowed on AEW. So at least Mark does have a home in that
yep,
regard in the wrestling industry, and a very big home at that, with a bunch of wrestlers who love the heck out of the entire Briscoe family. And that might be a good coping mechanism perhaps for him as well. We've saw donations go rampant. Kevin Owens, I think, donated like 15 grand. I think
mm,
Jericho donated as well. Bunch of people who knew the Briscoe family just donated a whole lot of money. I think Tony Khan had a shirt up for Jay Briscoe. 100% of the
100%.
proceeds
Yeah,
do go to the family. Which also to keep in mind, the two daughters that were in the car with him, they seem to be doing at least healing
better.
up in the hospital, doing a lot better. So thank goodness for that. But it's certainly going to be a long road ahead, and you are down also one member of your family who held half of the income there as well. So everything that the wrestlers are doing, Tony Khan is doing, kind of the same thing that they did also for Brody Lee, is obviously very much needed. And it's like a family, you know what I mean? The wrestling
Yep.
industry is is not a big world that we think it is. It's a very
Yeah.
small knit community. WWE likes to make it think that's just them, but at the end of the day, all these wrestlers wrestle pretty much the same promotions and all know each other really well.
Mhm.
We even saw KO in the Briscoes
Video. Yeah.
Jay Briscoe
Exactly.
match. So they probably fought like a bunch of times, and I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure Kevin Owens was um, really good friends with the Briscoes as well. So yeah, it was just a great way for both men to honor his best friend and also to honor his brother on his fucking birthday.
Yeah.
I think if if you're gonna respect someone, I think that is the ultimate way to do it. They've been in the wrestling business for like 20 years. They've been doing it together, and I think if there's a way to go, that was the way to go. You know, that's
and also
phenomenal.
also kudos to Michael Cole for mentioning it on SmackDown. The passing of Jay Briscoe, and also them letting Viking Raiders were also wearing armband that said "them boys." So that's cool. We see, when these situations happen, competition and rivalries, are all thrown out the window, and you just want to pay your respects and support the people that are involved here. Okay, so it's a hard segue to do after that, but we still have to do it. So let's go with our. It's not too long, because since the Rumble matches last about an hour, so let's go with our predictions for the Rumble, and then we'll do our shameless plug for the Bash.
Okay, fair enough. I thought we were just going to save that for the Rumble Bash.
Oh, actually, no. You make sense when Big Red is here. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah, good idea. So, okay, let me do the plug for the Bash, and you're going to take us home right after. All right. So,
sounds like a plug.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our second to last show before the Rumble, because we will be going live at the Bash at 5 p.m. So everybody is welcome to come. 5. Yes, you're all welcome to come and join us in the live recording of the podcast, which we will be doing at 5 o'clock at 9515 Hochelaga at the Portuguese Community Center. It's free entry. There will be food and drinks on sale, very, very cheap, not too expensive. So you could have many things you want. There's some Portuguese cuisine like the bifanas, and then there's the regular finger stuff like the hot dogs and the fries and the poutines. So you guys can all eat there also. So we'll be filming our podcast at 5 p.m. and then Royal Rumble will start at 7 p.m. Usually they start off with probably the women's Rumble here.
I almost feel like the 7 p.m. is the kickoff, though. No,
is it?
I think it's the kickoff. Royal Rumble.
I always thought it was at 7, but that's maybe because Big Red said it was at 7, and I just went with that.
Big Red was right before. You can't be right all the time. San Antonio, Texas. So maybe we really are legitimately going to see Austin. Just give me the time, guys. Jeez. Here. January 28th and Saturday, in addition. 28th, it will work the first installment below the kick off the road to WrestleMania. God damn it. No time. Okay. Who's the Royal Rumble winner? Who won it at what time? Where can I watch the Royal Rumble in Canada? Start time.
Oh,
boom. Oh, you got it?
Which is... I just wrote start time, and so you're right. So 7 o'clock is the kickoff.
Perfect.
So
yeah,
this Saturday,
8 p.m. Eastern,
7 o'clock live on Peacock in the US and on the WWE Network everywhere else at 8 Eastern. So the kickoff is at 7. So
and also everywhere else on DAZN.
Yeah,
I guess.
So,
sorry, that's AEW. My bad. No.
That's true. That's AEW. Okay, on Peacock in the States and WWE Network all everywhere else. So the Rumble will start at 8, and usually they start off with the women's Rumble. So don't be late. So if you plan on eating something, show up a bit before. I guess 7 is a good time to show up. So we could have a few beers. We could all talk about who we think is going to win. We could also do the in that hour before the Rumble starts. We could also do the pool, little raffle thing that we're going to do. Try to pick, pick numbers to see who wins the jackpot. Yep. So show up before. So that's 9515 Hochelaga Street in the East End of Montreal, January 28th, this Saturday. The Rumble starts at 8. this Saturday. The Rumble starts at 8. Be there for 7. Or if you want to join us on the podcast, be there for 5 for the Rumble Bash 2023 with your boys of Wrestling Talk Now.
Bam, and that is it. And feel free to DM us. Let us know what's going on. You guys are coming. Please keep us posted. You can follow us on all the socials at WTN Wrestling. Unless it's on Twitch, it's WTN _Wrestling Talk Now. It might actually be WTN Wrestling Talk Now. I actually have it there, but I can't read it. It is
WTN _
no, that's for Twitch, but I mean for like the other socials. It's just WTN Wrestling. I was right. I second guessed myself, and this is why you should always go with your first gut, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
But I digress. Rumble Bash this Saturday. Come one, come all. It should be a good time. It is cash only, but there is an ATM like right across the street, if ever anything. So make sure you bring some cash for that, for some food, some grubs, some drinks, whatever have you, and a little bit extra for the Royal Rumble pool, because your boy JLB is going to be taking your moolah, because Lord knows I'm winning that Rumble. It's all random though, so you know it is what it is. And that is it. So we will see you on Saturday at 5, where we will run it down, the Royal Rumble, pick our winners, what we think will happen, and then the Rumble will be happening at 7 o'clock for the pre-show, 8 o'clock for the actual show. Doubt we'll be doing live reactions, but who knows? Maybe we'll be drunk enough and we'll do live reactions. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Maybe some short clips for our TikTok. For our TikTok page.
Maybe that's fair. Maybe we'll do that. That's a valid point. So that's it. We'd like to thank you. John. I hope that's not Big Red just on YouTube, but thank you, John, for coming on in, and everyone else for listening. Links will be down below in the doobly-doos. So will for the tribute show, for the Jay Briscoe tribute show that Tony Khan had done. And that is pretty much it. So we will see you next time, which will be at the Rumble Bash. So until then, ciao for now.